Hey everyone, welcome to Roll Together RPG, Gloom Falls on Baldur's Gate, episode 3. Episode 3. That's what's happening today. We are playing Dungeons and Dragons. For those who are unaware of what the Dungeons and the Dragons are, basically they go into dungeons and they fight dragons. Cool. Good. Except that's not happening at all in this series. That's not what we're doing at all. We're playing tabletop role-playing games where the players roll dice and then we role-play what their characters do. They have character sheets on the left-hand side of the screen through D&D Beyond, thank you very much, where you can see all of their abilities. Mostly they're rolling 20-sided dice and adding numbers from that sheet to it to see what they can do. But yes, so we tell our tale and tell our stories together. And I play everyone else who they potentially talk to, or destroy, or blow up, which happened last episode, so you know. But yes, that is the D, and all of these players are playing their D&D characters, and I think it's chance to meet them all. So, going around the table, please tell us your character's name, their pronouns, your name and your pronouns, if you would like, and maybe tell us something that your character would like to achieve today. Added a twist. Emma.
Hi, I'm Emma. I use the pronouns M or Emma. My character is Trix, he uses the pronouns T or Trix, and I have no idea what Trix wants to achieve today. Trix is a warlock barbarian. We just did some stuff. I exploded a vampire. I'm very proud of it. I assume there's going to be more vampires to explode. Maybe I'll explode another vampire. Who knows?
Okay, thank you, Emma. Evie.
Hi, I'm Evie. I use she, her pronouns, and I am playing Silver Melodata, or Silver Raven Melodata, as nobody calls her but herself. Yet, anyway. Silver is a Dampier Phantom Rogue, and today, what does she want to achieve? She wants to achieve maintaining her best friendship with Trix, definitely that, and also impressing the other pretty awesome people that she's recently met while keeping tea for herself.
Oh no.
Right.
Yes.
Wow.
Slightly disturbing? Okay, we'll go with that. That's fine.
That was not meant to come across as disturbing as it did.
Good start.
Vampires in their possessions, huh?
Yeah.
David.
Hello, yes, I am indeed David, as Chris said, go by he, him. I am playing Aldrin Wheelwright, the Unmasked, also goes by he, him, Cleric of Timora. Aldrin is very pleased to be part of this 5th edition Crypts and Vampires, and is looking to get more information on the nefarious plots, because forewarned is indeed forearmed.
Wow. David's a professional actor, can you tell? Yeah. Rebecca, speaking of professional actors.
Hi, I am Rebecca. I use she, her pronouns. I am playing Persephone, who also uses she, her pronouns. She is a human shadow monk, and today she would like to work out what on earth is going on, how much of it is her fault, and what she can do to stop it. Small, achievable, simple goals.
The second point hits a bit close to home, Rebecca, but you know, like...
It's fine. It's fine. She has no horrible secrets. It's all good.
Oh, God. Okay, good. Speaking of horrible secrets, George!
Hello. Yes, I'm George. I use he, him pronouns, and I'm playing Ashra Beckett, or Ash, who uses she, her pronouns, who is a former necromancer, a current abjurer, and all wizard. And I think Ash today wants to just kind of align with Aldrin on this, like get more information. I don't think she's even been fully caught up on what the others discovered in session 1 or last time. But finding out what the heck's going on here and what it's got to do with the pitch and possibly other things, that would be nice. I mean, it'd be horrible, but it would be useful.
I'm getting a sense everyone wants a fact-finding episode, so your wish is my command. Today will be a fact-finding episode.
That's not what I said. That's not what I said.
Sorry.
Yeah, I feel like my priorities are not the same as the rest of the party right now.
I just think Chris has just crossed out ninjas on their plan for this
I'm
evening.
never crossing out
face-finding
ninjas.
episode.
I'm never crossing out ninjas ever again. Ninjas. There's now a post note on my desk that just says ninjas forever. That's just a thing now. Anyway, before we kick off and get back to the ninjas, the story will run for about 3 hours today, and there'll be a break, roughly 5 to 10 minutes, somewhere near the middle. It's all improvised, so you'll need to bear with as we try and work our way into that moment. Let me tell you all about our sponsors before we get started, though, because you can see them arrayed around us on the screen, and aren't they excellent? Starting with the wonderful Hero Forge. You can probably see the minis next to everyone's faces that are probably doing a cool little rotatey thing at the moment. Those minis are all designed online in Hero Forge's digital mini creator. We make digital minis and use them with a virtual tabletop, but they also come fully 3D printed. I've got one right here. This one is a Kenku Paladin. Look at it. I love it. This was made by one of my friends at Hero Forge, and it's absolutely excellent. It's a character I have to play at some point, but haven't done yet. Anywho, Hero Forge has a fully customizable digital setup online where you can make all your own minis. You can color them online. They get printed in color, which is absolutely remarkable. We absolutely thoroughly recommend checking them out. Head to heroforge.com and make your minis today and use them virtual tabletops or at home, whatever suits you best. We're also delighted to be sponsored by Ultra Pro. Ultra Pro do the physical side of the tabletop. We're talking dice boxes, dice trays, all sorts of various geejaws. I'm looking at things on my desk going, which one am I going to show you today? And I think today is a gazer day. Here is my gazer friend. He lives on my desk. And look how adorably grumpy it is. You can probably see one. No, you can't see one behind George. I cropped George a bit too closely for that. But yeah. Yes, George also has one. They are splendid. You can get miniature figurines like that and a bunch of other stuff at ultrapro.com. If you join us in Twitch chat today, there is a random giveaway. If you're part of Twitch chat, we select names out of a hat, and then we send people gift cards for buying things on Ultra Pro. So do join us in chat if you'd like to win something from Ultra Pro, and get yourself some lovely stuff, including gazers. Positive on gazers. And you've probably seen we have some new sponsors that we've had for this season. That's the lovely Elderwood Academy who've joined us. Emma's showing you a hex chest there.
This is a mini one. It looks normal size because my hands are so small.
Yes. But they do a variety of hex chests, dice boxes. They're all made of wood, they're all custom, they're all bespoke. You go on their site and design pieces for yourself. And speaking of going on their site and designing pieces, if you head into Twitch chat now, there will be a link to design something for the lovely David. Or Aldrin. Or both. Ooh. There will be a link you can follow and start making some designs for David or Aldrin or whatever, whichever version of that you want to take, and then that will be made and sent to David and show it off in stream once he has it. David, any hints you want to give of things you're looking for? It might be a spell book, it might be a dice tower, there's all sorts of things it could be, but what direction do you want people to steer in?
Oh gosh. Well, if you don't know Aldrin by now, where have you been? But yes, anything to do with trickery or knowledge or anything of that bent and inclination. But I'm sure I shall be very happy with whatever chat cooks up.
A learned design is what we're looking for here.
Yes.
Lovely. Well, anyway, head to elderwoodacademy.com, join us in chat to make something nice for David, and if you head across to that page where you make something nice, there may even be a little gift discount code on there. Who can say? Not me. I wouldn't say that, but I just did. Anyway, those are our sponsors. We also have some lovely supporters. As I mentioned D&D Beyond earlier, you can see our character sheets on the left-hand side of the screen, and you'll be able to see what people can do. D&D Beyond is their online digital tool for making your characters, and it's perfect for any kind of digital play, which of course we are all still doing at the moment, so thoroughly recommend them. We're also supported by Level Up Dice, who make wonderful, beautiful, special built dice. They've given us some lovely things called table shakers, which are these very large metal dice, which are called table shakers because they shake your table. If you want to get some of those, there's a link in chat. We help design these ones with them. There's the D20, there's D20s and D10s. And yes, head to levelupdice.com. I think it's levelupdice.com. The link will be in chat. Yeah, I can't remember what it is. And finally, you can see at the bottom of the screen, we are supported by 2 D&D video games. Both are mobile games, so both are either for mobile devices. I think Elder Champions is also on Steam for computers and all sorts. It's all over the place now. But yes, if you type exclamation mark Elder Champions or exclamation mark Warriors of Waterdeep into chat, you'll be able to find out more about these lovely games and play them. And if you put in exclamation mark code, you get a code you can put into the Elder Champions game for a free Electrum chest. And if you put exclamation mark WoW gems into chat, you will get a number of free gems, which are the sort of in-game currency. It's a nice way of getting lots of nice things for the game. Recommend both, they're great fun. Do check out one if you like the other and vice versa. And yes, check them both out, Elder Champions and Warriors of Waterdeep. Thank you for your support again. We're on all the socials as Roll Together RPG. Massive thank you to our D20 Club who support us on Patreon. There'll be a link in chat if you want to join them there and help patronise us. You can join from just is it a pound or a dollar?
Depends what currency you're in.
You can join us from a very small amount of money to see sneak peeks of what's coming up and more stuff about what we're doing. So if you would patronise us, we would thoroughly appreciate it.
Sorry, that sounds like I'm being sarky, but Patreon generally changes the amount depending on what currency you're in. So that wasn't me just being sarky back to Chris.
Don't have to be sarky back to me. People know us by now. They know that you're sarky to me. It's fine. Sorry, Em and I are a couple and live together if you have no idea what's going on. There we go. Also, these shows are available as you're probably watching on Twitch right now. You might not be catching it on YouTube after the fact, or even listening to a podcast version. If so, hello, and thank you for joining us in these lovely ways of enjoying our show. The YouTube link will be in chat, and I don't think there is a podcast link in chat because it's everywhere. Like, once you're a podcast in one place, you're all over the place. So if you go to your favourite podcasting provider and type Roll Together RPG into the search bar, you will almost certainly find us. But yes, thank you very much for all of the ways that you join us and play with us. Finally, we play with a diverse group of players who play a diverse set of characters with wide-ranging sexual and gender identities. Our tables are trans-positive, and we encourage both players, characters, and DMs, hello, in our games. The players may portray characters that are of different gender to their own, as might the DM, and we have a policy on misgendering, which we follow, but if we do miss an opportunity or miss an instance, do let us know. We're always open to being corrected and to bettering ourselves when it comes to LGBTQIA+ issues. Good, lovely. Thank you very much, everybody. Super excited to kick the ball down the road, kick the can down the road, get the ball rolling. One of those metaphors. And we return to Gloom falls on Baldur's Gate. Gloom has indeed fallen on Baldur's Gate, because it is nighttime.
Boo. Boo.
You all went to a fancy party at the Bormal house. You met the scion of the house, Alistair Bormal, who appears to be in cahoots, dating, something, Silver's sibling, LaRouche Meladata, who is a vampire.
Wait, I thought they were dating Theraval.
You can date more than one person.
Yeah, but you didn't hint that they were dating Alistair.
Well, you can...
This is new information.
All right, well then I just gave that away. That's fine.
Well, LaRouche gets around.
I think you made Alistair seem so completely unimpressive that who would ever want to date him ever.
Ah, yes, but Alistair's rich.
Oh, no. No.
Oh.
No.
Vampire's fine.
Anyway, yes, at this fancy party you discovered that there might be some sort of connection of various different villainous factions that some of you aware of to different degrees. You found a childishly crude plot hook device that told you all what the setup was, and then made your way into the basement of the Bormal house where you knew that plans were afoot. Finding your way through the various crypts and absolutely annihilating the perfectly balanced encounter I had set, unbelievable, you all managed to make your way down into...
It was perfectly balanced for me, on my own.
That's the thing about perfectly balanced things. You just flick them and they start to fall over.
But yes, you all made your way down into the sewers beneath Baldur's Gate. Those pesky sewers, they always come up in Baldur's Gate adventures. And as you made your way down into them, you discovered a ritual. You don't know what the ritual was for, although Asher did find a very telling note that George can roll more Arcana checks on as we get into the actual game.
I did find things.
At which point the ritual was broken by Percy casting a silence spell, which stopped the chanting. At which point you were in a strange sort of combat / not quite sure what was going on creepy encounter with LaRouche Meladata's Hound of Ill Omen, which is a souped up version of the Hound of Ill Omen of a Shadow Sorcerer, and in doing so may or may not have been in mortal peril, but you're not sure because everything was so dark and mysterious.
It was fine.
Sure
Everything
it
was fine, Chris.
There was a point where I was like, oh god, I'm going to kill a PC. Anyway, you then made your way back into the area where the ritual was taking place, where Percy had seen all of these dead bodies arrayed in a strange way, and cultists chanting, and Alistair looking slightly out of his depth. And once you returned there, you discovered there was nothing there at all. The whole place looked empty and abandoned. And that is where we are going to pick up. So the 5 of you are just after that combat encounter. You have all made your way into this quite large... It's a connector point. It's where a lot of sewage tunnels come together, and there's a large grate at the bottom of this space. It's large, it's cavernous, a bit like a concert hall in a way, so you can see why the sound of the chanting travelled so well. And in doing so, at the bottom there is a grate which is clearly designed to sluice out any heavy objects that make their way through the sewers before the liquid waste falls through the bottom. It's gross, but there you go. But it's all... It smells a little bit down here. Like there's a sort of... That sewery... It's been a sewer for a long time smell. But there isn't, like, effluvium floating around. It's very clearly dry, cold, abandoned, a bit dusty. It almost looks like no one's been here in a very, very long time. Which is strange, because Percy swears there were just, like, 30 to 40 people here. What would everyone like to do?
I swear there were people here. Like... a minute ago.
How many?
30 to 40. Silver, your sibling was there. Alistair was here looking really out of his depth. I listened to the DM. There are a whole bunch of pitch assassins and Aldrin, there are a whole bunch of your culty masked weird people.
I turn myself from a leopard into a human again. Well, elf.
Okay.
Wait,
And there are a whole bunch of dead bodies in weird positions.
like
They're not here either.
magic-y people or like non-magic-y people? Because that makes a difference with how quickly you can leave a place.
I mean, Aldrin, if they're like you, are they all magic-y?
Well, some of them will be slightly less magic-y, some of them will be slightly more magic-y, but I certainly know of spells and abilities that will allow people to leave a place like this, unless of course it's an illusion and they're looking at us right now.
What if it was the result of the chanting?
But we stopped it.
Gonna
We stopped the
just gonna move around a
Most
little
of
bit
it.
and just check. Just gonna check. Can I feel anything?
Roll me a perception check.
Can I roll an investigation check instead?
Yeah, of course you can.
Can I help? Can I perceive?
If one of you is perceiving, one is investigating, those are different rolls.
I'll percept then,
Cool.
if that's
No problem.
okay.
That's totally
It's
fine.
almost like I have wisdom and no intelligence.
And
I
investigation.
rolled a natural 20 plus 4 for a 24.
Ooh.
Whereas I got 13.
Okay, so a perception check is taking a look around, getting a sense of, listening, taking a look at things. It's not a sort of forensic analysis. It's more of a getting a sense of the area around you. With a 13, you scan the space, and it is fair to say that though it looks relatively undisturbed, if you move around it and look a bit more closely, there are scuffed footmarks in the dust in places. You can see a couple of places where there clearly was something lying on the floor. It's all been picked up and moved quite quickly. There are some scrapes under the ground, very definitely. But it has all been moved, and Percy, you know you're not going mad, that you definitely saw what was there, and you're starting to get a sense of there was something going on here.
Can I, if a 13's not high enough, because I know what I'm looking for, can I spot any footprints, a 60-foot gap, or footprints? Like...
With a 13, you can't go that detailed, but you can start scouting around the space and looking in more detail, and we'll come back to that.
Okay.
Tricks with a 20, with a nat 20 in particular. How do you investigate? Because obviously you are a vampire hunter, you would investigate scenes as part of your job, and what are you looking for?
Well, there was mention that it might be an illusion, so I think this is quite a lot of this is like touch, feely.
You want to use your natural 20 to walk around feeling the air.
Well,
think it's Croatia.
Yes, that was the motion I made.
Sure. There's no one in this room, and you can be 100% sure of that.
I mean, I would also be looking at the room whilst I'm doing this. I do a very thorough search of the room whilst I'm feeling for the people.
Sure. As you make your way around the space, you also note that there are markings in small parts of dust and grime. Like, there were people here, and not too long ago. You do find that... what you find in particular that draws your eye with a nat 20 is there's a series of quite heavy footsteps. Look like someone was dragging something. There's a definite drag mark as well as some heavy footfall. And it stops abruptly. like an almost a completely perfect straight line stop, which you would associate with some kind of magical teleportation.
Well, I mean, I can teleport, so I understand teleportation.
Just saying.
Somebody left. Here. There.
I'm going to cast Detect Magic.
Sure. As you know, George, and I'm very happy to have like magic leaving residue. I think that's quite a nice way of dealing with it. There's no active magical effects in this space. Would your detect magic detect, David? Have you still got detect evil and good up? Did you drop that as part of combat?
I didn't drop it, so if it hasn't been 10 minutes, it would still be up.
I will say it's still up then, in which case I'll give you that instead, so I'll give George something and you something different in a second. So, Ashra, looking around, the area in terms of magic, there is no active magical effect in here, but there are signs of... it's conjuration for teleportation, isn't it, George?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there are signs of conjuration magic, sort of wisps of it, at about... You'd count somewhere between 20 to 30 different places.
See.
So a lot of teleporting happened here not too long ago. Give you that with the detect magic. Aldrin,
Anything specific from the ritual?
No. There is no magical effect in here from the ritual that you can draw any conclusion from. You'd almost say it's like no magical ritual was taking place here. Aldrin, this entire area has been deconsecrated.
Oh. It would have dropped, but I cast it again anyway.
Oh, okay, then in which case I'm fine with that. It reeks
Ashra?
of undead, shadow magic, wrongness. Like something religiously awful happened here.
Ashra?
Yes.
You seem like quite a powerful person of an arcane persuasion. I'm seeing some stuff that gives me great cause for trepidation and consternation. Seems like this whole place is designated unholy ground. Do you get any sort of summoning sense from here, or long-term big magical effects?
Conjuration magic, that seems more recently tied to teleportation, departures. Nothing summoning based. No hint of the ritual as far as I can make out.
Whew. I have only seen this sort of thing a few times, and let me tell you, when places are as unholy as this, then generally speaking, it means there's been some kind of twisted shit going down.
Do I know anything about deconsecration effects?
You used to be a necromancer.
Yep.
So you have some understanding of undead, necromancy, that kind of thing. Can you roll me an Arcana check to think back to your studies in particular?
Can I roll a religion check on this? Like,
Yeah,
have I experienced this with vampires previously?
Yeah, of course you can. That's fine.
Is there anything?
20.
Can I help with that with my... Just being
Vampire
like,
stuff.
maybe this.
Yeah, that's totally fine. Rebecca, you had a question as well?
Yeah, is there anything from my experience
Thank you, Evie.
of undead things? Is there anything I would be able to
Of
work
undead
out?
things in particular.
Well, my final reckoning with the pitch before I went running.
I understand. In which case, that's a roll on vampires, that's a roll on necromancy and the undead. So yes, Rebecca, with your check on the pitch, it would need to be an intelligence-based check. I'm fine with any intelligence-based check on this.
Well, I
frankly.
rolled 0, so...
Sorry.
That's fine.
It's an easy decision.
That's a natural 20.
Hey, there we go. So on the pitch and knowledge around their machinations and work, that's a nat 20. On vampires with the assistance?
23.
23. And George on necromancy and their effects?
Total 20.
I mean,
Unnatural 20.
I mean, yeah, they're all 20s and above, so you will all get all the information.
George.
What I'm
This
gonna-
party.
I rolled an 11, but I mean, I have a +9, so that's why it's good.
You're
Yeah.
incredible characters. I would fully expect
Yeah.
this kind of thing. You're also all smart. Well, some of you. So, with your knowledge of necromancy, Ashra in particular, necromantic rituals tend to leave a necromantic residue, a necromantic magical residue, and have some kind of necromantic effect, usually around the undead, raising the undead, connecting to something to do with the undead. Necromancy's got a very specific focus. There is nothing like that here. However, this whole area is now deconsecrated, unhallowed, which Aldrin has just told you. That doesn't necessarily leave a magical effect. It's a religious effect.
Oh, so it's not like the Hallow spell. It's like a different thing.
It's a different thing.
Okay.
And if creating unhallowed or deconsecrated areas would be areas that would give other spells power, they can be used as nexuses of power. So creating unhallowed spaces and creating deconsecrated spaces would empower necromantic ritual. This ritual didn't do anything magical. It didn't do anything arcane.
Right.
If you follow my meaning, it did something divine. It did something religious. It didn't do anything arcane.
Can I get rid of it?
To hallow an unhallowed space, there is a spell called Hallow that takes 24 hours to cast.
Oh, but it's different from that, so I can't dispel it like the Hallow spell.
No, it is a different effect because it is divine magic over arcane magic. There's that line. There's that distinction.
6th level as well, isn't it?
It's a high level spell. Yeah. Like hallowing and unhallowing spaces is dangerous. What you also know, and I think with the 20s and above that you're getting with this, I'll give you this too. The ritual was interrupted. You know it was interrupted and not completed.
Yeah.
Maybe there was meant to be another element here that didn't get completed. Maybe this was starting the ball rolling and there was a next step that didn't happen. With your knowledge of vampires, Trix and Silver, and you can be talking about this as well, I'm going to try and give this from both your perspectives. Trix, your method of dealing with vampires is punch until they stop moving. So you're not like massively au fait with all the things that the vampires do. Vampires can be religious and can cast spells. They can level in characters like any other character can. They also have the ability to affect things normally in a necromantic sense, so to do with the undead or to do with summoning things or blood magic in cases as well. This is different from everything you've ever experienced of them. It is definitely not normal. And Silver, you can confirm that. You've lived with vampires, you are part vampire, and this kind of ritual, unhallowing and deconsecrating a space, yeah, sure, like Tuesday. Like, that's fine. Like, making unhallowed spaces where they are safe to traverse and where people can't screw with them, that's fine. But a ritual like this, with no obvious effect, no obvious, like, this is a big thing that's going on, you can also fairly assume that the deconsecration was just, like, getting the space ready, and there was meant to be something else happening that did not happen. You are also a bit stumped as to what your sibling is doing, because this is outside of what vampires do. I will also give, because you rolled above a 20, both of you together, that this is so treading on what your father specifically asked you not to do, and specifically didn't want the Maladata clan to do. So the Root is definitely playing with fire here, and you probably have enough here as evidence if you wanted to go back to your father with it.
Hey.
Percy, with your natural 20. The pitch, the magic that you have and that you use, is not arcane or divine. It doesn't come from the same space of wizardly learning and reading and books. It doesn't come from affecting the world around in that way. And as far as you know, it's not divine, it's not religious, it doesn't come from a religious aspect. You did, when you didn't take part in the... You got your tattoo, you took part in one of the horrible rituals. In that ritual, you did recognize some of the effects of this ritual being similar. There was a deconsecration effect. You wouldn't know necessarily what that is, but the room felt bad. And you know that the pitch dabble in shadow magic because you dabble in shadow magic from your training with them. This feels very on brand for them. Yep. I think is that enough information for everyone? I think that gives a relatively clear overview. But yes, if you have any other questions, please ask. You all rolled very high.
We need more puzzle pieces.
Is there anything that looks interesting higher above in the room that's not necessarily at ground level?
If you look up at the ceiling, it's the space. The ceiling is designed to sluice water down, so it's got a slight sort of inverted pyramid at the top of it. There's no markings or anything on the walls. It looks like just an old... It's a big chamber that clearly had the space to do this in. This chamber doesn't look to be otherwise significant.
Sorry, go on.
If everyone's seen enough, maybe we should not stay here.
Oh, I definitely think we should leave.
Aldrin speaks the command word to change his armor from the vestments of a cleric of mask back into the shadowy, stealthy Timora garb.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I hate wearing that, and I agree, might be time to find ourselves in a different locale.
Do you think we have to go through the house, or do you think there's a different way out?
I know the sewers. I can find a way out from here.
That might be better in case they decided to have an after party.
Just a thought. Can anyone else make people fly?
I have bats.
Not today.
You can levitate people,
today.
Judge.
Not today.
Oh, sorry.
I don't think, I have fly, but I don't have it prepared.
Make 3
How many people
fly.
could my bat carry?
The bat that works as a mount.
Yes.
2 at a push.
I can make 3 people fly.
We could all
Is
fly.
this just for getting back up again?
Yeah, we could just. It would be a fast way to leave. It is faster than walking. Running? Might not be faster than Persephone running, but it's faster than the rest of us
Nothing is
running.
faster than Persephone running.
Do I have a sense of how far down below the surface we are? Keen mind? I probably should.
Oh, with keen mind. Yeah, you'd see you're probably a couple hundred feet below street level. But also, Baldur's Gate is on a hill. There's quite a lot of hills, so...
May also be less chance of falling into sewage, which I'm keen on.
Yes.
There are routes. I imagine I don't know every inch of the
No,
sewers.
you do
Could
not.
I work out a route out, or would it be a bit of guesswork?
There would be a bit of guesswork. You know what the structure of the sewer is like, so you can... that room tends to lead to that room kind of thinking. I will also... Well, if you want... You can be fairly confident you find your way out. The pitch tend to leave Thieves' Cant, as do some of the Thieves' Baldur's Gate on the walls that show directions, so...
I will... Who's going on the bat?
Am I right in thinking that we're intending to make our egress through the sewers?
Unless you have a better plan.
No, works for me. Just give me one moment, if you please. Aldrin's going to cast Sending to Callister.
Mm-hmm.
And is going to say, find a place out of sight, change into Lord Highmore, then wear the evening jacket. See you later.
Ash, could you...
Sorry, you get the message back. Yeah, no problem. I'll see you back at the Church of the Lady.
Awesome. I'm just thinking that it would be better if Lord Highmore was observed still being at the party to keep that cover intact.
Sure.
George, you have sending, right?
No. Be good if I did. I agree, but I do not.
I would like to take out my little statue, throw it on the ground, and say, Jethro, I choose you, number 2! It's not tone appropriate, but
Did you call
a
them,
different Jethro comes out.
Did you call them all Jethro?
That they're all called Jethro. I mean, I didn't name them. Don't blame me.
Y'all are an interesting bunch of people, I gotta say.
When Jethro appears, instead of the horrific winged horror version of Jethro, this is quite a cute, large bat. It's still a large bat, but it's got it's very much it's a regular looking bat. It's got the cute crinkly nose and the big ears, and it turns and just looks at all of you with a kind of, and clearly looks quite docile and quite friendly.
It's quite adorable.
Bats are the best animals.
Is it also pink with love hearts, Evie?
I'm trying to think now. No, but its face is very rosy and very blushy.
Alright, who's on the bat?
Who wants shotgun?
I'll be fine making my way. Thank you.
I can walk.
I can make 2 more people fly, as well as myself.
You'll hurt Jethro's feelings.
I'm happy to take the offer of flight, but if there are people who are more in need, I do have ways and means.
Again, I'm happy to walk if needed, but if everyone's flying... Hi, Jethro.
literally one person needs to go on the bat and then everyone can fly. I don't see why you all don't understand the maths of this. It's really not complicated.
You understand the maths. For me, it's that we've only just met you and suddenly been plunged into a world of vampires and cultists, and now we're going to climb on a bat.
From what I understand, you're already in a world of cultists.
I was in a world of shadow assassin monks. It was very different.
It looked like they were a cult. I mean...
I will hold out my hand to Jethro for him to sniff, and then get on Jethro.
I'll put my hand on Asher and Aldrin's shoulders and cast fly.
Cool. You can now all, by various means, fly. How long does fly last, the spell?
Fly lasts for 10 minutes, and we each have a flying speed of 60 feet.
And what's Jethro's flying speed?
Good question, hang on. His flying speed is 60 foot.
Oh, perfect. So you can all fly at the same speed. Yeah, you can all... There are various tunnels that go out of this central sluiceway. Percy, if you, on the back of Jethro, do a sort of loop of the building, you can find some of the faint scratches in the walls of the guild mostly, but other people who live around Baldur's Gate, that will direct you to various points that you can go. Roll me a survival check to follow these.
Ooh. I'm on Jethro as well. Can I assist or whatever?
You can't read the writing.
It's Thieves' Cant, isn't it?
Oh, it is based on Thieves' Cant, yes. In which case, yeah, because you are, you can also read this. Yeah, you can help.
Nice. Well, thank you, because one was a nat 1. Yep, there's another nat 20. So 23, please,
Nat
Chris.
20s, yeah, fine. You can unerringly make your way through the sewers. As you fly down the ones that are clearly marked as exit, and are you looking for an upper or lower city exit?
I will, at this point, when I realise there's options, do we just want the fastest out? Do we have somewhere to go?
Lower city. Our pub's in the lower city, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we'll go to the Blushing Bear.
Blushing Bear is in the lower city, yes.
Lower
It's in
city,
Bloombridge, so it's in
safer.
most of it's in the lower city. Yeah.
Bloombridge, okay.
Then in which case, you can easily make your way. You do get out of the disused part of sewers, so you are flying over sewage, but you very quickly make your way around the various tunnels and through the various walkways. Because you're flying over, it's much, much easier than it would be if you were going on foot, and you clearly sort of halve the time, if not more, by using flying creatures.
I can cast it again if necessary.
10 minutes is going to be more than enough to get you to an exit, that's fine.
Nice.
You get yourself...
Disguise self into some sort of high elf scholar.
Fine. You can all... The sewers, you're not leaving by sort of a kunk, like manhole cover getting out. There's not that. There is a door. Because Baldur's Gate is on a hill, a lot of the sewer entrances and exits are these sort of like strange metal doors that seem to come out of the side of the hill, because sewers wouldn't all... They all flow at street level, but the hills are quite steep, so you'd be able to walk out in a straight line. And you're stepping out into an area of the city that is basically Bloombridge. It's very nearby. You can be making your way towards the Blushing Bear with relative ease. It's still nighttime, the fog's still quite thick, but you travelling the lower city at nighttime can be dangerous, but I think for the 5 of you it's probably more than okay to move through.
Is sending a spell that I would recognise Aldrin casting?
Interesting.
Is it silent, or is it...
Have you seen someone cast Sending before?
I don't know. I thought Ashra could do it, but clearly not. Could Milk do it?
Yeah, Milk has
think
sending
so.
to...
Yeah, I think so.
Then, yeah, I've seen Milk do it.
Okay. David, it's up to you. Would Aldrin have openly cast Sending? Would it have been something that could be recognised?
Well, it has a verbal component, so I imagine that what I said would be apparent, but what was said to me would not.
Okay, if you want to do Sending as... I have no problem with the idea of Sendings can be private, because I
What do
understand...
you mean? So it's casting a spell in order to use my mind to cast it. In which case, yeah, if there was a way of doing it privately, I think at this stage Aldrin would have, because whilst our goals kind of are parallel, it's not yet apparent to what degree they coincide.
In which case, did you openly cast a spell, but the message was private?
Yeah.
Cool. Then in which case, Percy, you saw Aldrin cast a spell and said, Sending EO.
Okay. As we're heading towards the bar, I will just... You don't owe me anything, and I know conserving magical energy is important, but if we get somewhere safe and you have the energy, would you mind... You seem to do that thing where you talk to people far away. I just want to tell my little sister that I'm alive and not to worry, but, don't worry. if you can't.
I can see the benefits in establishing a firm arrangement vis-a-vis our personal situation. I'd be happy to help you out. You seem like the kind of person that would be good to be owed a favor from. If you would like, I can have some people that I know who are very dependable keep an eye on the place where your sister is located, but I understand if you would prefer for me not to know that.
I mean, all of that suddenly made me feel much less sure that you can be trusted. So, yeah, I think I'm gonna pass. I was just asking. Yep, no, I'm good, thanks.
Aldrin's like, this is looking like this, but just immediately thinking, strange. I was being my best self.
Maybe I can send Jeffro with a message.
That is such a lovely offer, Silver. I think a giant bat might attract some unwanted attention.
I'm guessing you've bamfed Jeffro back into the statuette now that you're in the streets.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what? It's fine. She's a smart... She is a smart girl. She'll work it out.
If she's asleep, I could send you into her dreams with a message.
That sounds awesome. Would it scare her? Because if so, I'm here for that.
I mean, I can scare her or I can not scare her.
It can do psychic damage.
No, it doesn't have to do psychic damage. It can just be a messenger.
Fine.
You know what? I mean, is it what? Like, where is it between 11 and 3 in the morning?
It's now roughly, 2 to 3 in the morning.
She should be asleep. I mean, again, Drix, if you have the energy, that would be awesome.
I mean,
but
I always have the energy as long as we've got time for an hour's rest.
I need to sit down for an hour. Are you going to suddenly start talking about me owing you favours, though?
No. Are we going to
cool then?
punch
Let's
some
do it.
more vampires together? Because
I would like
fun.
that. Great.
If I hear that, I'm just saying that all I meant was. Yeesh, you offer the same bodyguards to help someone's sister and they throw it back in your face. I don't know.
I mean, just to be clear, Silver, I was also going to offer to send you into LaDouche's dreams.
Oh! I mean, I knew it was going to come at some point. I didn't know how much it was going to burn, though. Oh!
I'm here for LaDouche.
Yeah, LaDouche all the way.
I'm sorry, I can't actually remember their name.
LaRouche.
No, it's LaDouche now.
LaDouche. It can't be taken back.
I'm so sad.
Yes, I would love to give them a bad night's sleep.
I suddenly feel like we all have 5 fewer hit points than we did a minute ago. Bar. I need to sit down. Trix, you look like you need to sit down.
Do you want Trix to cast Dream?
I can.
Yeah, let's do it.
Resting.
We should probably be somewhere where you can sit down.
Bar,
first.
dream, sit down for an hour. Ideal.
Cool. You make your way through Bloomridge. It's a perfectly lovely... it's a nice part of town. Lower City isn't the safest, though.
Oh, no.
You walk through the Lower City. It is quite foggy. You do note it's a moonless night. Probably waxing or waning. And you see the various green lights as you pass through, as per usual. And Trix, Silver, you know your way around Baldur's Gate. You quickly make your way to the Blushing Bear. For those who haven't been there before, the Blushing Bear looks like a dive bar. The Blushing Bear sort of sign on the outside is... It's not particularly nicely lettered or done. It looks a little bit crap. Those who've not been here before can roll me a perception or investigation. I'm fine with either.
19.
Mm-hmm.
16.
Mm-hmm.
27
plus 6.
27.
27.
I've
That seems
been in
low.
probably, but not for a while. But I'm not allowed to use my passive.
Aldrin, I think it is fair to say that you probably haven't been here in a while because it's becoming the kind of place you would go, but it hasn't become it yet. You've heard of it though, and you know about it, and the things I said about it in the first episode still stand. Ash, Percy, you've never heard of this place, never been here before. It's trying really hard to be a dive bar, but someone's clearly made a lot of effort to make it look disheveled.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
A lot of money.
The cocktails are really good, though.
This is why Silver gravitated towards it.
Sounds good.
Really try hard.
Trying so hard.
Yeah, if you step inside, I mean, the green light is still on, it is still open. If you step inside, there's about there's like 2 tables full of people, and we're talking like a couple sitting quietly and a group of 2 people sat discussing something quite seriously.
Can I greet all of them by name?
Sure. Roll me. I don't think you know all these people.
If they're the regulars, I would know them.
These aren't the regulars.
Where are the regulars?
Well, there aren't. It's a cocktail bar. Cocktail bars don't have regulars.
No, we said it had regulars and that I knew them. That was one of my specific requests.
There are a couple of people. Roll me. You know the couple. The couple, they are often in here on an evening. They enjoy the cocktails. They're just a couple of local people who run an art/watch shop.
I will greet them both by name.
Abernathy and Myrtle.
Yeah, I'm not good with names.
Cool.
Emma's not good with names.
They give you a smile and a nod. It's nice to see you. It's always nice to see you. But yeah, the other 2 you don't recognise. Orgrimmar will, behind the bar, will... Good evening. Welcome to the Blushing Bear. Can I get you a table? And comes out. And as described, Orgrimmar is a centaur, but dwarf pony centaur.
Orgrimmar, you do not need to seat us every time. We're literally here every evening.
It's good customer practice to seat everyone.
Table would be lovely, thank you.
Could we have a booth?
I can do a booth, of course, no problem at all. And
many drinks.
As far away from everyone else as possible.
Sightline to the door, please.
A very specific booth.
That one.
Let me see if there's a reservation or a booking first.
Orgrimmar, it's like 11 at night.
It's like it's 1 in the morning, like it is late.
I'm just going to start walking towards it and sit
Tricks,
down.
wait, we have to check. It's a proper establishment.
I've sat down by now. My booty is in that booth.
Orgrimmar will still very pointedly head over to a big book, and look down and look back at you and give a... It's free if you want it.
Looks like I reserved it. The usual, please.
And we don't have a usual silver.
I have
silver
a usual.
Tricks. It's not that kind of establishment.
Aldrin is just going to quietly note the fact that this venue was suggested as neutral ground, but has now heard Trix apparently know everyone.
Yeah.
That Trix and Sil are there every night, and is just going to file that one away.
Percy is doing exactly the same. Not neutral ground.
Give me a moment, I'm just going to go upstairs and get changed. I'll be right back. And I slip into something more comfortable.
Sure.
The fantasy equivalent of sweatpants.
Fine. Yeah, you definitely have those. Cool. You all sit at the booth. You are brought various drinks. They are all very posh cocktails. Orgrimmar has just made 5 cocktails, assuming quite a lot about what you all might like to drink, because when Trix says usual, Orgrimmar just goes, I'll give them the new one, and just makes a couple of new cocktails. They're quite well matched. 1 or 2 of you might want to just swap drinks back and forth a bit, but generally speaking, they're well matched. They're mostly a nice combination of quite long drinks, so with more body to them, and they tend to be very delicately spiced and flavoured. It's really quite high quality for what this place looks like and purports to be. You can see what the business idea is. And Orgrimmar will, of course, very politely hand them all out and give a quick brief breakdown on all of them, which you're welcome to fill in what flavours you want your cocktail to have. And we'll just place them in front of all of you, and we'll then go and give you some space. And nod politely at all of you.
Do you want to do the dream first, or do you want to do the talking first?
Let's do the dream so that I don't accidentally tell her things she shouldn't know, and then and let's do that quickly so we can get into planning.
Excellent.
I'm aware this isn't self-indulgent.
While you're prepping, the elven scholar just says a little too loudly, "This is the best banana daiquiri I've had outside of Candlekeep."
Thank you very much. The trick is to let the bananas ripen before you blend them.
Indubitably.
Right, I just tap Percy on the shoulder, and as long as Aspen is asleep, Percy appears in Aspen's dreams and can converse with Aspen as long as Aspen remains asleep for the next 8 hours.
Wow.
You can shape the landscape of the dream. You can create landscapes, objects, and other images. You can emerge at any time, ending the effect of the spell early. Aspen will remember the dream perfectly upon waking. If she's awake, you'll know it, and you can either end the trance in the spell or wait for her to fall asleep.
Is that you or Percy?
Percy.
Strong Wheel of Time vibes.
Amazing.
Yeah. Percy, you how does casting your spell work? What do you do to cast the spell?
Yeah. Tap her on the shoulder.
That's very true.
Very right. Yeah.
Another knuckle duster that says go to sleep.
Does Percy have to be asleep for this?
No, in a trance.
For 8 hours?
No, for as long as the spell lasts.
Okay. Percy, you...
It takes 1 minute to cast, so...
Trix just sits there thinking for a minute and then taps you on the shoulder and suddenly, boo! You're gone. And you have never experienced anything like this. You are... From all you can see, Percy's just in a trance. But...
That's normal, by the way.
It's a little disturbing. It's like out and about and gone already. Percy, you find yourself sort of floating bizarrely through sort of clouds of blue and black. You're not quite sure what is going on. And you start to sort of hone in and visualize. And you are in a very... It's like a crude sort of superhero landscape vibe of like... a city like Baldur's Gate, but the buildings are too tall, and the streets are too dark. And Aspen is fighting a bunch of ninjas, just... And every time she hits one, it sort of blows away into smoke and dust. And occasionally one looks a bit vampiric, just... knocks that one out as well. And you're sort of floating above this whole situation. What do you want to do?
I would like to make it start raining ink, and then that bleeds into the sky, into the buildings, coating everything in that black, sticky ooze that comes out of Percy when she's casting.
Aspen is going to see this happening and clearly look very disturbed and upset.
I would like to emerge from the ooze right in front of her with the black pouring from my eyes and go, Artie, I'm so sorry. I couldn't.
What's going on?
And then I'd like to wipe it all away. Sunshine, some bunny rabbits, a rainbow. Sorry, couldn't resist.
What the fuck is going on?
I love you. Those friends.
What's happening?
You're dreaming. Those friends we made at the party, they're really useful. Ash and I
I'm
are gonna...
dreaming right now?
Yes. Yeah. Trix, the sort of elven, slightly feline one. He can do some very cool stuff. So yeah, I'm in your dream.
Did you see my dream?
Yeah. You're adorable. It was a good roundhouse though. I like that one.
What was I dreaming about?
Superheroes, ninjas, standard. Right, this
Roll me
is
an insight
important. She terrible. Do I need to roll an insight check to know she's really embarrassed about that? 25.
She looks unsure of how much of the dream you saw and slightly concerned.
I'm gonna move past that. Yeah, so they're really useful people and they all hate the same people we do. So Ash and I are gonna stick with them for a bit. Undercover, yada yada yada. We might not make it home for a while. Please don't worry, we're safe. I'll get in touch if we need anything.
Can you do it not through my dreams, please?
Well, someone offered a more standard way, but he did it in a really and then you owe me way that made me quite uncomfortable. So I went with this way anyway.
Can you find a way to make that okay?
I'll try. I sort of thought this would be really funny.
It's kind of invasion of privacy.
I
really don't like it.
You stayed at a tent with me and my partner for 6 months. You want to talk about invasion of privacy?
I left the tent when you asked me to.
We had to ask. Okay, this is a tangent. Stay safe. Don't do anything stupid. Do what Hortensia tells you. And this isn't just because I'm babying you. It's really handy that the pitch don't know that you're here. You're our secret weapon, but you have to stay hidden. You have to stay safe. I'll come for you when we need you.
So you invaded my dreams to tell me to stay with Hortensia and not get up to any mischief?
Also that I wasn't dead. I thought you might care.
I mean, yeah, of course I do, but... So it's just really weird.
Yeah, I see that now. Please never do this in return, I'm sorry. I won't do this again. Have
okay.
some... rabbits. They're fluffy. Look, there's a squirrel.
Can you now change what my dream is?
Yeah. What would you like? I'm going to go in a minute, but... I can leave you with something.
I don't know if it's... I don't know what to ask for!
I turn it back into the super cool superhero thing, but make
That's
Aspen...
kind of ruined now!
Oh.
That was my private thing! That was my...
You're amazing. I think everything I do is going to make this worse, so I'm just gonna... I really hope this isn't our last ever conversation, because we might both regret that.
I mean, I'm dreaming. Am I gonna remember this conversation?
No.
Yeah.
Roll a deception check.
Aldrin's the bad person.
Hey,
17.
look, when the warlock offers you things, just
Take it.
carefully.
I stand by this decision.
Okay, well... Look, if anything does go wrong, then of course, if you need to come into a dream to tell me, then just tell me. I want to know you're okay. Yeah.
I promise. Oh, other things. Don't go near House Bormal again. Don't trust anyone from the Church of Mask. And obviously the pitch, but you knew that one.
What's the Church of Mask?
They're weird priests with literal masks on who might be sort of evil.
Okay.
See, it was useful information. All worth it.
So
Sweet
priests
dreams.
wearing masks.
I'll see you soon.
Yeah. Sweet dreams might be impossible now, but thank you.
Can I bamf out?
Of course you can.
Thank you.
You entered a 17-year-old's dreams. What did you think was going to happen?
She's my sister! It's
Yeah.
not like creepy. It's, oh, you make everything dirty. Okay.
What?
We've all been 17.
I wasn't even necessarily referring to anything that crude. More of it's 17 and wish fulfillment. Like,
Oh, I'm sorry, tarnished rather than,
so I tarnish everything. Is that what you... Unbelievable.
Yes, that's exactly what I meant, Chris. Well done. Percy snaps out her trance looking simultaneously gleeful and sheepish, I think.
Gleefish?
Gleefish.
Have we all just been staring at Percy, or?
I have. In case anything goes wrong.
That was interesting. Trix, that was very cool. Ash taught me out of ever doing that ever again, I think.
Noted.
I think Artie may hate me for a while.
Oh, it's really good
don't
fun,
want
though.
to
I
be
use
rude.
it sometimes when I'm stalking vampires. It's really fun.
Wait, do vampires sleep?
Yes, this
During
is
the
the day.
day.
I have so many plans.
I thought you might say that. And yes, I'll just need an hour.
Aldrin?
I don't want to be rude, but if anyone invades my dreams, there will be repercussions.
Yeah, that's fair. Doing it made me realise how much no one is ever allowed to do that to me.
Uh-huh.
Oh dear. Ash, remind me to apologise later. I did in the dream, but I may need to do it again. It was all just... I was thinking of it in terms of communication, and it all got a lot more weird.
Sure, she'll get over it.
She's better.
She's lived at Temple
It's all her
for
fault
6
anyway.
months, so, she'll get over it.
Mainly to distract from that. Planet, we need to find people who know more about what's going on than we do. People we can trust, people who know things. Finding the overlap of that Venn diagram might be hard.
Would
I
you-
hate to say it, but I think I may need to speak to my father.
Oh. I thought you hated your father.
I don't... It's not really a hate relationship. It's just... disdain. I'd go with that.
In which direction?
Yeah, it's not hate so much. He's just, a bit of a lame vampire dad. I did not... That's an ominous reaction from the DM.
I'm sorry, this is just a lame dad. This is a lame vampire dad. He's so lame. Your dad's your dad's a very trad vampire. It's true. Yeah, I think that's
he's
valid.
so traditional. It's just a bit cringy, really. At this point, he's just not doing the vampire thing right. But anyway, I didn't think that he would take me seriously about Ladouche and his.
It's never gonna stop hurting.
No.
My dad used to cook all the time. I miss him.
My dad does something similar, but it's more bringing people home to eat.
That's more disturbing.
Yeah.
Trix, do you kill all vampires? Just wondering if this might develop into a situation at some point.
I mean, Silver's still here.
I'm more referring to Silver's dad in this context.
Yeah, I do not trust you with my dad.
Only if they're trying to kill me, or if I've been asked to kill them by someone. Or if they happen to be the person that I'm looking for and trying to desperately...
Okay,
I'll
if I make
this
you...
awkward. I apologize.
If I make you pinky promise not to kill my dad the moment you see him, or unless he... Just pinky promise not to kill my dad, you can come.
Am I certain that Silver's dad is not the vampire that I'm looking for?
No.
I can't.
You're looking for one specific vampire. I thought you just sort of had it out for all of them.
Well... Alright, well, I'm looking for one in particular, but in looking for that one particular one, I'm also working for someone who doesn't like vampires, who has asked me to, kill more of them. So, until I can be certain that your dad is not the one that I'm looking for, I can't promise you that I won't.
Okay, you're not allowed in the family home quite yet then.
Where was your dad in the summer of X of
69? Oh yeah. Silver, you have no idea where your father was in the summer of '69.
I don't know, he gets around, he travels a lot for his for work. Also, he says he might just travel, I don't know.
For work? He's a fucking vampire!
Type of work?
Do I know what the vampire that I'm looking for looks like?
The vampire that you're looking for, did you ever meet them face to face?
I would presume that I would at least have seen them.
Yes, then in which case you can describe that vampire.
Well, I can just disguise self as them.
Oh, perfect.
Does your dad look like this?
Trix changes into a rather tall, elven-looking person with white, spiky hair and a sort of...
Did you make Spike from Buffy kill my family?
Maybe.
I hate you.
Trix turns into Spike from Buffy. And that is not your dad. Your dad is not Spike from Buffy.
Oh, no, I wish that was my dad. No.
I immediately turn back into myself. In which case, I do not currently feel inclined to kill your father.
Pinky promise?
Pinky promise.
Okay, great. We have someone to talk to about vampire things. Aldrin, do you have anyone you can trust who might know more about what's going on with your people?
Mm-hmm. I have some ears on the ground, and I have ways and means of trying to find out more information. I would be happy to add any intelligence I can relay to the cause. We all seem to be aligned in the idea that this gloom is a bad thing.
I could ask the person that I speak to sometimes if they know anything.
Contact? An ally?
I guess you could describe them as a Fey Lord, if you were so inclined.
That's quite a specific thing. I see.
Yes, you could speak to your patron. That is correct.
Do I have any... I mean, I don't have Hortensia in this. Do I have other contacts
In
on
the
this
city,
side of the
no,
fence?
not specifically, no. But Hortensia is well connected. If you asked Hortensia for more information, Hortensia led you to Alistair, for example. If you asked Hortensia for more, Hortensia could probably do some digging of her own, but it puts her under risk as well, obviously.
Let's see if these other leads pan out first.
If anyone wants anything else, if anyone else has got any ideas, please throw them in. If not, I'm happy to give you all some more information that your character would know, but you might not.
I could talk to Aradine and see if there's anything going on in the Undercity.
Did you say that out loud?
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Did you say everything?
I'm sorry, did I mumble?
That's an unusual name. I also know somebody that goes by that name.
It's probably the same person then. I mean, they get around.
I guess so. but they never told me, well...
They never told you that they get around.
Well, that depends on how you frame it, I suppose. Well, I gotta say, you never know just how you might be connected to folks. This is a revelation.
Uh-huh.
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 Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Sorry.
All right. All right.
Well, that got weird. Good. Anyone else got things they want to throw in or thoughts what they might be able to add to this situation? I'm happy to give you steers and hints because your characters may know more than you.
I mean, Percy has pointedly asked other people with links to the other two of the three if they know anything, and then pointedly is not saying anything.
Okay, good to know.
I mean, when you were kidnapped and like taken off to this secret orphan children place, where was that?
I wasn't kidnapped. They turned up at the door and offered to take us to a better...
Yes, which was
benevolent...
worse, so therefore you were kidnapped. Yes, carry on.
It wasn't worse. The other place was going to split us up.
And then they
Sister Oriana offered to keep us together. It wasn't...
Turned you into assassins. Yes, carry on.
Yes, it was entirely black and white tricks, thank you. It's in Tumbledown.
Well, could we not go there?
Tumbledown is the outer city. It is outside Baldur's Gate, but only barely. It's at the base of Dusthawk Hill, which is on the eastern side of the city, which is quite a large hill that goes outside the city. Tumbledown is the western side of Dusthawk Hill. It is largely a bunch of buildings, and it's also a cemetery. And Tumbledown also and the Dusthawk Hill all end at a sort of cliffy crevasse that falls off into the River Kionthar underneath. So Tumbledown is notorious for being where the cemetery is, and also where most of the cities... there's a lot of weird rumours about Tumbledown and the undead for semi-obvious reasons.
Well, why not? We know there are people there who know.
Yes, there is an entire monastery full of people who've range from slightly less powerful than me to infinitely more powerful than me, and there are 5 of us. And I am very much wanted. We'd have a great and glorious battle for maybe 10 seconds, and then you would all be dead, and I would be... Yeah, no.
We came to the city undercover specifically to look for a plan that could leverage our power against theirs without simply walking in the front door. If we could do that, we would have done it already.
We'll put it on the B list.
There might be someone. But she also might just kill us.
Would I know who you're talking about?
Nope.
Not mentioned before this point.
I will give you a look, but yeah, go on.
Any
Go on.
more detail than just that? Because that's quite detailless.
I can understand wanting to keep our cards close to our chest at this point.
Yes.
Percy is all or nothing with information, as we have previously established. So it is either all or nothing, and I think we're getting nothing on this occasion.
Just like, again, a little too loudly. Barkeep, another round of daiquiri, please. I can attempt to look in on our foes by some magical means as well, but I will be quite vulnerable for the duration, so if we do that, I would appreciate y'all having my back.
Of course. I hate to say it. They know now that we're here. They know that a group of people have allied against them and disrupted them. I think now time is of the essence, and whilst it may seem foolish, I also feel like maybe our various people will respond better to 1 or 2 people than a whole group of strangers. Do we need to split up, go our separate ways, rendezvous here or an actual neutral location? And
You didn't say a neutral location, you just said you didn't want to go to a church.
I wanted a neutral location. And pull notes in, say, 10 hours.
Copper Coronet?
Is that pub?
Mm-hmm.
Sounds good. Do you live there?
Nope. We'll have to go, shall we say, incognito, because there are people on the streets, but I guess y'all know all about that.
Mhm.
All right, I'll buy that.
Who's going
10
to see
hours.
who? Wait, who's going to see who? Because we rolled out a whole list of people, and I don't think Percy and Ashra had anybody.
Dave, the couple
One person
coronets in
seems-
Afkatla.
Oh yeah.
Is it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Where am I thinking of then?
The classic one for Baldur's Gate is the Elf Song Tavern.
That's the one I was thinking
Yeah.
of. Bloody hell. Sorry about that. We can take that again if you want.
It's fine.
We should
Let's wreck on this.
we should all go to Athkatla and start a new
Go all the
campaign.
way to Afkatla. Let's just go south for
It is
weeks.
very neutral ground.
Just turn back a couple of pages of the script and go again.
I've got it here somewhere. Yeah.
I was about to say, I'm pretty sure the Copper
that's-
Coronet's not
that's
in
just-
Baldur's Gate, but I don't want to literally just turn and say, that's
in
wrong, David.
Baldur's
I
Gate.
think-
That's
the
just
game,
checking
but-
that everybody at the table is on the level.
I literally just Googled it because I was like, I'm 90% sure, but I
No,
don't want to
you're right.
shout out.
You're right. I was thinking of Baldur's Gate locations, but obviously it's Baldur's Gate 2.
Yeah, which is in
Yeah, which is in Athkatla.
Well, I think maybe this works. Aldrin and Trix need to have short scry conversations while we keep watch over them. Then Aldrin is going to allies and friends, so could possibly go by himself. Trix can go with Silver. Ash can come with me.
I'll give you a look of like, oh, can I? Like not too.
I have pointedly not made eye contact for the last 3 minutes.
All right.
Aldrin, do you want to go see Aradine, or shall I?
Well, I suppose that could be something that we could do together, but if you feel strongly about it, I'm happy for you to go first. There may be the case that perhaps we both get told different things at different times, so it wouldn't be, you know how they are. They like to play games. Might be worth corroborating the information that we get.
That is true. I think both of us going and asking the same question at different times of the same evening would be rather telling, don't you?
Yes, it would.
Just to put a not too fine a point on it, the thing that Trix and Silver are planning to go and do, i.e. go and talk to vampires, you can't do in the daytime.
It's
Oh,
not
yeah.
time.
It's nighttime now.
We'll need a
But
long rest at some point.
You'll need
as
a long
well.
rest
need
at
a long
some
rest at some
point.
point.
Just to note that if you want to go and talk to vampires, you need to go now, in which case timings may not match up very well, or it sounds like Asher and Persephone have a... What are you going to do?
Talk to Isla.
Ah, okay. In which case, that is a specific thing that only the two of you can really do, whereas the three of you, all of your things sort of overlap a bit. It could be a 2 and a 3, which would frankly be more exciting for the stream. How do we all feel about that? It might
I
work
can
out with
also
timings.
not
because-
go and talk to Isla if...
Also, if you go
Like-
talk, I mean, also to be fair, if you go talk to Isla, that won't take that long, and then if you wanted to join in what other people are doing as well, that might work very well as well.
I would quite like to have a short rest before we go do anything.
There will be a
Because-
need for a long rest before too long, otherwise you'll start getting exhaustion
Yeah.
points too. Just to throw it in there.
That's fine. I also spells and stuff. Any things that I need to do that are like on my own will be very brief because it's a question of just giving instructions to people. I'm happy for other people to be there, but in order to do it, I probably have to go to the church unless I'm giving out orders 25 words at a time.
In which case, what makes sense? Does a long rest now make sense, and then do stuff during the day tomorrow, and then potentially all go see vampires in the evening? Or do you want the vampires to be a smaller thing of just Silver and Trix? Like, do you other people who specifically don't want to go and see vampires because it would be a bad idea?
A fun time.
Would
feel
prefer
that's-
to go and see vampires in force.
Yeah, though, Evie, I feel like that's your call if you want Silver to go by herself or en masse.
I kinda want to prove to my father that I have friends. So
Go in force.
Okay,
Yeah.
long rest, split up in the daytime, meet back here, or the thing that's not the Copper Coronet
The Elf Song
tomorrow
Tavern.
evening. Elf Song
Tavern.
Tavern.
Yeah.
So I spooked my sister for absolutely nothing if we're about to go back to Identity.
ooh, I can fuck with Ladouce's dreams in
yeah,
the day.
in the day, tomorrow, yeah.
I'd want to cast a couple of spells before we long rest. Chris, I had it in mind that I'd only be able to scry from the church because of Font of Holy Water, but for logistics and gameplay, I could just have a mirror on me.
You can have the spell components to scry on you. I'm not going
Perfect.
to. Like, if it has a cost and you have the item, you have the item. If it has a cost and it gets burned by usage, you've probably got a certain number of uses.
It's once you've got the item, it's unlimited uses.
Then you'll
unless
find you
it
carry a mirror,
gets...
obviously.
Yeah,
No
I'll
problem.
probably warn people not to smash my mirror. It's quite expensive.
And yet again, I'm not going to be the person that goes, "Oh, you fell over, all your spell components are broken." Ha 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 ha. No.
It's for flavor, Chris. I know it won't happen, but Aldrin doesn't.
Yeah. Okay, so are you all going to split off and sleep in your various locations and then do your things and reconvene the next evening to go and see the Maladata clan?
Sounds good. How exactly
good.
do I contact my patron?
We'll get there.
Is that a daytime thing or a nighttime thing?
It's a whenever you want to thing.
Okay, cool. I'll probably do that on my own then this evening.
That's fine. Are you all splitting off into your pairings, singletons, to go and rest and talk
If
about
Aldrin
things
wants to
and
cover
prepare?
while scrying, I think we can stay for that, but otherwise...
Okay, then in which case, Aldrin, are you going to scry at the table, or are you going to go and scry? Do you want somewhere private?
Scry at the table. Friends at the table.
You're staying here, right? You have a room we could go to?
Yeah, it's upstairs.
The
Alright.
sofa's taken.
Still asleep on the sofa.
I do.
It's the wrong time
well-
period for sofas.
Yeah. Chaise longue. We won't be needing it for long. Just it might seem a bit obvious if start casting spells and we're trying to stay incognito. This would make us very much cognito.
That's fine. I grab my drink and start going upstairs with it.
Trix, if you wouldn't mind, the glasses need to stay in the bar
I
area.
will bring it back down tomorrow.
No, that's that glass is a long stem. It's very expensive.
I'm moving with it.
I pinky promise we'll make sure it comes down.
I've gone.
Orgrimmar was going to go after you, Trix. No, I have to insist. But look, I knew this was going to be a problem. I got you a wooden tankard.
Oh, amazing! I pour it into the tankard and hand back the glass.
Why does no one respect the pinky promise?
Birch of the tankard's going to change the flavour of the drink. All right. Well,
It's a great drink. I'm really enjoying it. I'm going to continue enjoying it.
yeah. Not that kind of establishment. He's going to turn around with the glass and walk away again. Is anyone else taking their glass upstairs?
I'll probably finish my...
It was very pleasant.
I'm
Thank you.
content with my blood snuff.
Gross. Okay, good. So you all head upstairs to the rooms. Emma, please describe Trix's rooms.
Sparse. I would say kind of like someone who's not really like 1 foot out of the door, like not really intending to live here for long. Yeah, not a lot of decor. Yeah.
Except
No.
for the sofa that just has my luggage on it.
Yeah,
It's
like
strewn about.
no.
Is it all pink?
No, it's all black and red
Yeah,
with a
yeah.
bit of silver mixed in because it's my namesake.
Yeah, aside from that, it looks like someone who doesn't really have somewhere to be and doesn't really have anything they do in life. Yep.
Oh, and a teddy bear. There's a teddy bear on the sofa as well. That is pink.
The rooms. What would everyone like to do?
lean against a wall because I'm having to stop and prevent myself from instinctually tidying up. imposing order, perhaps. As well.
George, you're meant to be playing a character in this game.
I will take up defensive position by the door.
Is there
Keep an eye down the stairs.
somewhere to sit with like a table or a surface in front of it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll sit down there, get out my very ornate mirror that's carefully wrapped. I'm like, please no one break eye contact between me and the mirror for the duration. That would, well, to be honest, nothing would go wrong, but it would give me a headache, and I would appreciate it if you didn't do that. And I will begin to prepare casting Scrying on Alistair, and I will take out the letter which Alistair possessed and use it as part of the spell.
Mm-hmm.
Will give Alistair a -4. I presume it's fair to say that I have met the target.
You met Alistair, yeah?
Yeah, I wouldn't say I know Alistair well at this
No.
point. But so yeah, so that would be a wisdom save DC 17. It takes 10 minutes to cast, and then it lasts for 10 minutes, ideally.
You
The -4.
can scry on Alistair. You can see Alistair in the. Do you see him in the mirror? Is that how it works for you?
Yeah, I see, and in the mirror and hear through the mirror as
That's
well.
fine.
It's like clairvoyance plus.
Alistair is lying in bed, asleep, with a frilly mask on.
Oh.
Does anything happen in the next 10 minutes?
No.
Yeah?
If you want to peruse the area around Alistair, he is on his own. There's no one with him. His sleep does look fitful. Not sleeping well.
That looks like someone who's rapt to have their dreams invaded if ever I saw one. Should have cast augury first, saying, "Will this spell be pointless?"
It wasn't pointless, but you are trying to scry it on someone at about 2-3 in the morning.
That's fine. That makes perfect sense.
While Aldrin's doing this, can I be reading through the notes that I've just remembered we stole from the room?
Sure, roll me an Arcana check. Actually, George, while you're here, roll me another Arcana check, because it's something that happened last episode I want to make sure we've all covered.
Yeah. You can take these notes out of my hand once the spell's cast, that's fine.
Oh, not even notes. I mean,
No,
the ones they
different
grabbed from the...
Oh, the other ones. Cool.
Yeah. I mean,
Either
if you offer
one.
them up, that's fine. But yeah. But so the first one I rolled is a 15.
For the notes,
Which,
yes.
yeah. And then the second one is... They're 17. Like, they're good, but I have a +9. They should be higher.
You're rolling mediocre, not bad, George. Come on.
Yeah.
Give yourself credit
So,
where it's due.
yeah. It's like getting a promotion to like middle manager or something like it.
First things first, the spell effect, the Hound of Ill Omen that you fought, and you were like, is this a creature or not? And you couldn't quite know how all of that worked. It suddenly clicks into place for you. It's a spell effect, like a Big Beast Hand. It is a summonable creature in that it is a spell effect that has hit points and an armor class and all that sort of thing. But it is not a creature. It can't be affected like that. It is a magical effect. It just clicks for you that that's why that happened in the way that it did, which the DM could have explained better at the time. My apologies.
So dispellable?
Interesting. It's a magical effect, not a spell.
All right.
But otherwise, you have no recourse to fight it. So I think I would
half-life
rule
spells
that
target creatures, I think.
Yes, I think I would rule that it is dispellable. Yes.
Okay, good to know.
Or Ashra could just punch it away.
With
That
Baby's
works.
hand, that would be much
With
better.
Baby's
Yeah.
No, with her own hands.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I mean, because I think
Sweet,
because
-1 damage.
I think because it is as part of what LaRouche does in terms of spell casting. I said LaRouche, not LaDouche. Don't smile.
You had to think about it.
I know. Because it's part of what they do as a sorcerer. It is arcane in effect, so I would allow you to dispel it. Otherwise, it would have no purpose. But yes, just for a quick, people ask questions, and I wanted to answer them. Then on the notes, once again, these are notes about corrupting the light. These are notes about using light as a conduit to the plane of negative energy, which, as described last week in a really good piece of DMing for me, is really, really bad. It's full of negative energy. But yes, and again, you are aware this is the bottom of the universe. This is death. This is decay. This is destruction. It is the worst possible thing. There are very few things directly connected to it. The things that come from there, the connections to it, you can connect to it through the Shadowfell, you can connect to it through some of the lower planes. It's like the worst of the worst in many, many ways, but also it's not malicious, it's not targeted, because it can't be. It's not to do with that. It's not evil. It's just death, negativity, destruction. And
Gotcha.
With your 15, the ritual that they were casting, now that you've seen what they were doing, it's been described to you and you have a bit of paper, these are not the same ritual. And the bit of paper does mention deconsecrated areas as being good, again, as described from your very good Arcana check earlier, very good nexi of power, which might be useful in the casting of this other ritual to do with light sources and corrupting them. So they're all connected. In fact, I'm going to give you this because you had a 20 earlier and you got a 15 now. It's quite possible that the thing they were doing down there would have used the corrupted place they were in to affect light sources on a grander scale. It's quite possible that you interrupted something that would have been this ritualistic effect but it wasn't the ritual you were looking at there.
Okay. How potent do I think this is?
You don't fully understand it because it's not about conjuring something into this realm. It's not about summoning something. It's about tearing a hole. Where most summoning things are about bringing something from another place into this place, this is about negating the barriers of the planes.
Okay, so this isn't
pretty bad.
This is like, I mean, I can see why a bunch of shadow monks and trickery clerics and vampires want to remove like that sources of life from a city. Could it be even bigger than that?
It could be even bigger than that, yes.
Oh, hooray!
It's not just to make everything dark. Ha ha! No one can see. Like it's more than that.
No. Yeah.
We've already had that campaign.
It's true. Now no one can see. Ha ha ha! Foiled. Good. Right, Aldrin, your scrying comes to an end.
Well, that was moderately useful. I propose that might be something best done in the daytime in the future, but it does prove that they are not participating in the ritual still. So they have.
He was asleep, wasn't he?
Slightly, yes.
Still useful information. Like you say, asleep, not halfway through a death ritual. Great.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now
All
that
right.
we talk about it, that's what I feel like doing too.
Sleep.
I say from my position, like in a pile on the floor.
We'll leave you to it. See you at 6
a.m. What is wrong with you?
Evening. We're doing the plan we just made. That plan where we do
make
our
a
separate
plan?
things tomorrow in the daytime, and then
Oh,
we
we
meet
did
up in
make
the
a plan.
evening to go see Silver's father. That plan that we made. That one.
Yeah.
Cool.
Trix, Aldrin, are you going to go and are you planning to meet up earlier in the day to see Aradine together, or are you doing it separately?
I think we should probably go together, otherwise Aradine's just going to see straight through us and be like, what the fuck are you doing?
So where do you arrange to meet and when?
Should we... Well, this is near Aradine, so do you just want to come here at, like, a time that's not unholy?
All times are unholy in these day and age, but yes. Shall we say 2 of the clock?
Perfect.
All right, I'll see you then.
Okay, so Aldrin's going to be joining you a bit earlier. Trix, Sylvia, you have things you want to do in the morning. Ash, Percy, you have things you want to do during the day. So we have some separate smaller scenes to pick up on. Before that, as you are all heading back to your locales, going to bed, is there anything you discuss, or where do you go back to? Because Trix, Sylvia, you're already here. You could just go, night! Or do you discuss anything or do anything before you go to bed?
So in the morning, I can fuck with his dreams, right? With their dreams, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna start making notes.
Just so you're aware, if you want to do something nasty, you only get 10 words.
I can do it non-verbally.
If you want them to hurt, you only get 10 words. If you just want to do something not monstrous, you get 8 hours.
Brilliant, I just want to fuck with them.
Okay, fine. I'm gonna go see someone about something. I will be back.
Oh, give them my worst if it's, what's his face?
What's their face?
It's not Aradine.
What? Sorry.
We're gonna see Aradine tomorrow. You're welcome to not come if you would prefer.
Oh, thank you, that's very good. Just tell them I said nothing, I don't want to talk to them. Okay. Good night.
Hi, Silver.
Evie, you mentioned to me privately, and I want to check in with you as Silver before you go to bed. Do you want to quiz the soul that you stole in your necklace?
Yes, I do.
Come to that too. Lovely. Okay, so before you go to bed, do you sort of...
Yeah, I kind of squeeze it and a little bit of silver dust comes out and manifests in a spirit.
Awesome. We'll do that. Trix, you've gone to see a man about a dog.
I'm gonna try and climb up to the roof, I think.
Okay. So you're climbing up to the roof, and Silver is summoning... Okay,
Probably on the outside of the building. That feels
Sure.
Probably climb out of the window while Silver's busy.
Yeah, we'll do an Assassin's Creed thing where no one notices you climbing on a building or thinks it's weird. Yeah. Right, good. Just occasional passers-by, woo, and then walk away and have no other recollection of there's a person climbing that building. Good. Right, Silver, you sit on the sofa. Do you do anything in particular to summon this spirit out? Is there any kind of process to it? Is it edgy?
It is just it's a little bit edgy, but it's not too edgy. It's quite understated in Silver terms. Is literally taking the necklace with the thing on, crushing it into a fine powder, and going, and then all the particles just kind of manifest as the spirit.
As the particles sweep up and manifest around, and you look at them, a face sort of opens out, and you do recognize the priest of mask that you killed earlier. They're still wearing the mask garb, even in death.
Hello, welcome to death.
Why have you summoned me?
Because you are going to tell me what the ritual was that was going on.
Why should I tell you anything?
Because I can totally bring you back if you do.
Can you?
No. No, I cannot.
Oh god. Okay, roll.
And I may want to help if it's a good ritual.
Roll me a deception check.
Okay. Okay, so that was an 18 on the dice, so that's 28.
Yes!
Well, in that case, we are bringing about the gloom.
The gloom. Can you tell me more about the gloom in concise terms?
The gloom is a opportunity, a chance to bring darkness to the Sword Coast.
To what end? You're being very vague.
Well, I don't know exactly. It's good. I've been told it's very good for us.
Oh, sweet pea, you believe everything you're told.
Well, the High Priest of Mask told me.
Oh.
Okay.
We work to a common goal.
Okay. Bringing about the dark, bringing about the gloom, it's an opportunity. Do you know of any power that will be granted to you upon this, or is it just that?
The only thing the High Priest told me was that we needed to work with our new allies for it, and we all had different things we would gain from it.
Okay. And do you know what you would?
Again, not specifically, but a chance to do more, to be more.
Okay, you've been very helpful. Give me one moment and I'll bring you back to life. I put my hand through him.
Oh, damn it! Foiled again! Goes through the face.
Oh, I feel kind of bad for him now. He seems more like a victim than anything else.
I mean, he definitely tried to kill us, so, you know.
That's true. That's true. But just a very gullible. A very gullible priest.
Well, okay. Right, Trix, you were going up onto the roof.
Yeah.
Cool. You climb your way up. Roll my athletics check, climb onto the roof.
Oh, no.
Up on the roof.
It's not bad. 23.
Yeah, you make your way up onto the roof. You climb up onto the roof. And once you arrive up there, you, there's no moon tonight. It's quite dark and still quite foggy.
I presume that I come up here to talk to my patrons. I'm assuming that once I'm up here, they'll know that I want to talk to them, and I'm just gonna wait.
Is there a particular thing that you do?
No.
So you just sit and wait?
Well, this is the place where I come. I presume they'll know that I'm here. I'm just gonna wait. We probably should have preset this more.
Oh no, I've got thoughts. If you just get up there and sit and wait, that is fine. And have you done this before? Is this something that you regularly do to talk to your patron?
Well, yes, because otherwise they would be really dumb. Like, I just come stand on this roof and assume that they know that I want to talk to them because they are a mind reader. Yeah, no, this is the place I come to talk to them.
Cool. Okay.
This particular roof.
Cool. You situate
Maybe it's just any roof. And the roof of the place where I currently live.
Right. As you situate yourself on the roof... and
I'm, like, lying down.
Oh, you lie down. You lie down on the roof.
Yeah.
You feel the presence before you see them, at which point you see the thing that you always see, which is a black cat leaps onto the roof nearby you, stalks over to you and sits down next to you, sort of doing a little catty sit next to you and looks at you.
Kind of want to stroke them. Would that be inappropriate?
No, you
know
probably
by
stroke
this
the
point.
cat.
Would get up, but it's been a long day.
Was there something you wanted?
I think so, but I climbed up here and then forgot.
Oh, well, that happens, doesn't it?
More often than you would think. Vampires.
Yes.
Oh, I exploded a vampire today. It was excellent. It's really exciting. One punch. Single punch.
I know, I saw.
Yeah.
You're doing good work, Trix.
Something about dangerous rituals. Do you know anything about dangerous rituals?
Dangerous rituals in what context?
As in, like, big, unhallowy, bad rituals. Something about gloom, maybe.
That's all extremely vague.
I'm sorry, that's all I've got.
I understand. I can try and assist you, Trix, but until I know what it is you are dealing with, I can't do a huge amount. Are you still spending time with the Dampier?
Yeah, Silver. Silver's cool.
Well, if you say so.
Look, we've had this conversation before. If they try to kill me, I will kill them.
Did the one you punched in the face today who exploded try to hurt you?
Yes, they were trying to kill me. Got any leads on the one, you know, the white-haired one?
Again, he still eludes me. But we will find him eventually.
And you don't want anything else, just kill more vampires.
They are a blight on the earth and must be destroyed, Trix. All of them. Every last one.
I don't think that sounds a little bit, you know, culty.
They are an abomination against everything.
Well, Silver's not an abomination.
I'm glad we had this talk.
You don't sound very pleased.
I thought you would be more strident in your hunt.
Could you just explain the meaning of the word strident?
I saved you because I thought you, who had been so hurt by them, would also be as committed as I am to this goal, but you are effective, and I respect your ways.
Well, I mean, Silver's been hurt by her family, and is hurting because of family. I can understand that, probably more than anyone.
As I say, there are things you can see that I cannot, and I respect that. It is why you exist in this plane and I do not.
That is probably true. If you hear anything about Gloom, just, you know, let me know.
What is it in association with? It is currently just a word.
Some sort of weird unhallowy ritual. A vampire called I'm sorry, I don't remember their name. I think it's Ladouche.
Ladouche? That is a peculiar name.
Silver's sibling. That's all I've got.
I'll have to look into that. It's not a name I have heard before. Maybe I will need to do some research. I'm disappointed in all of you.
And there's some sort of weird shadow monkey things, and some dodgy priests as well. So not just vampires, also dodgy non-vampire things too, which they're much harder to punch.
You do have a singular purpose.
Well, yeah.
You were made with a singular purpose.
I was not made with a singular purpose.
You were made by me, and I made you with a singular purpose.
You did not make me.
Again, we see things differently.
You did not make me. I was born to my parents.
Yes.
I'm going to climb back into my window now, and I shan't see you again for some time until I'm less cross with you.
I'm always here if you need me.
Yes, I know. Maybe think about what I said about not all vampires being, awful.
You have been very badly hurt by one. I have been very badly hurt by millions.
Right, I'm going to ask you about that next time. Cryptic cat.
The cat is talking, by the way. It's not in your head. This is literally a cat doing the cat from Bewitched talking. It's...
Yeah. If it wants to be less cryptic, it would be.
Correct.
I'm going to climb back in. If it wanted to tell me, it would have told me.
Correct.
Would you have described the roof as warm and made of tin?
Not in Baldur's Gate.
I'm gonna climb back in the window, which Silver is currently occupying the room of. Just going, fucking stupid cat.
Are we getting a cat?
Oh, we are absolutely not getting a cat.
That's fine. Jeffrey probably wouldn't like them anyway.
It would rhyme though. Cat and a bat.
Ooh.
That seems like a good note to take our half break. So, cat and a bat, half break, and then when we come back, we'll have the smaller conversations building up to the vampire encounter in the evening. Probably get that to the next session, but yes, let's see how we go from there. Thank you, everyone. See you in 5-10 minutes. Bye-bye. And we're back. Hello, everyone. Welcome to part 2 of Gloom Falls on Baldur's Gate, the Conversation with NPC episode. So, Trix just spoke to their patron, who was wildly unhelpful. Silver just spoke to a priest, who was also wildly unhelpful. Aldrin just cast Scrying, which was moderately helpful. So, Ashra, Percy, you're walking home. Let's see if this conversation is more helpful.
I mean, well, maybe. I think the conversation... Anyway. So this lead you may have that I don't believe you have mentioned before now.
You don't forget anything. You know full well I haven't mentioned before now.
I've learned over time to soften my language to imply that yes. I'm just wondering why you didn't mention it before.
Because it's complicated?
I'm not actually angry. I'm not... I understand complexity. It's just that we said no secrets.
It's not a secret. I mean, I guess it is a secret, but I didn't mean it as keeping a secret. It's messy, and I don't... You know, when something gets so tangled and knotted and confused, it's better to just shove it in a cupboard and forget it exists rather than trying to unpick it?
No, you methodically unpick it from piece by piece.
I forgot who I was talking to. The pitch are all evil, terrible villains, and it's easier to think that and to know that. But they were... Sister Oriana was essentially my mother, and this person was a friend? More than a friend? She mattered to me, and then they all tried to kill me. I never thought I was going to come back here. I never thought I was going to see any of them again. Why did it matter to unpick the horribleness of whether or not I did actually care about them and they cared about me?
That's it's a lot. For what it's worth, I'm sorry that's how it went. But I mean, you say the pitch are all... I don't see the pitch as some cartoonish villains. I don't believe that all of them have had the moment of clarity that you did and were free to make that choice. I'm sure many of them have. I'm sure some of them, if they had the choice, would do as they did. And this sounds like what this person did. If as you were called to turn upon your sister, you didn't. You upended everything else about your life instead. And this person didn't when asked to turn on you.
Well, this is why she's messy. I mean, how much have I told you about that? Everything going to shit night.
How much have you told me?
I think a while ago when we were starting to plan out that we were coming back here, I would have given you the facts, but the very bare bullet points, so you would know, we were fine, we were trained, Artie went rogue, I got summoned and told to kill her. I decided not to.
I know the impact, but not the substance.
Why did we come back? Okay, so... I mean, training at the pitch was kind of just like any normal boarding school, orphanage. They were intensely violent physical training classes and not really much, history and literature and lots of tactical things, but it was normal classes with normal monks and nuns, and then you go to sleep in a dormitory, and it was all very standard. And then, I got my tattoo and everything suddenly got super creepy, and I got paired with Isla, so you go out by yourself, but you go out in pairs sometimes, and if a pair worked, you'd go out again, and if you kept on working well, you'd keep going out together, and when you've murdered an entire family in the middle of the night together, you sort of are close.
I assume that's part of the point of forced bonding exercise, something
Yeah.
so horrible that you can't help but cleave to the person you're...
Yeah, that thing. At the time, I thought it was really nice that they let you go out with your friends, but your clinical assessment probably makes more sense. But yeah, it wasn't some like, ooh, everything is covered in shadows and evil. It was just sort of home-ish. And then the night Artie went off on one and decided to go warn this doctor, it just all went nightmarish. It was fully like dragged out of bed in the middle of the night and taken to the cellars, and I kind of thought of her as my mum, and she instead was some necrotic-y, undead-y sort of horror. It wasn't like they sat me down and gave me a cup of tea and said, now, Percy, your sister's done very naughty things, we'd like to clear it up. It was sort of worst nightmare level kind of stuff. Which was kind of a relief, because I think if they'd been nicer about it, I would have just gone and killed her, because it would have made sense. But they were so horrible, I panicked and ran and bumped into Isla on the way out and told her. I wouldn't have if I'd been with it, but it was Artie, and they were and I told her that I was taking her and running.
What did she do?
I'm here, I'm alive. She clearly didn't. She was horrified. She, I think, was older and wiser and had clued into quite how dodgy they were, but was there for it. She was fully on board with all of it. She was 100% fully pitch cheerleader central. But
She didn't attack.
we were close. Not like us. There wasn't affection, but we had killed for each other.
Do you think...
Yeah. I think if it had been any other person in any other mission, she would have killed me on the spot. But it was me and it was Artie, and she understood enough for her humanity to win for a minute.
She didn't have to choose between that life and someone she cared about. You did. And it turned out differently. But this is good. And apart from for the obvious reason, this means that for all the ideology and indoctrination, there is a wedge we can drive, because Isla can't be the only one who has been through this in the same way that you have.
I need to be very clear. I'm not saying she also had an epiphany and is really nice now.
No. She's still within that environment.
And I don't know what's happened since. They clearly know that I left. They might know. They would have questioned her. They would know that if anyone knew she did, what I have done could have pushed her further. Like, this isn't like, we found a friend now. She could take one look at us and kill us.
We should be careful, as always, but what this means is that of the people we know who have been involved with the pitch, we now have 3 who have had moments of the indoctrination breaking or not taking. No, not weakness. The opposite of weakness. Standing against everything you've been raised to be, even for a moment. For you, it's different, but for Isla, it was even just a moment. That's proof. If Isla may still be too far gone, may be a believer in all this now, but the fact that 3 separate people have had this, it proves it's not some impenetrable, undefeatable organization. It means that it is fallible and mortal, and that we can work with.
You think too highly of me, as always. I didn't have some moral, heroic standpoint. I was fucking terrified, and I ran. Anyway, that's
exclusive.
You don't have to come. She is terrifying, and we have history that I lied to you about if you don't want to come, I understand.
Do you think my presence would complicate matters or make... Well, then I just...
Both. No, sorry. Ash, no, sorry. Both. It will inevitably complicate them, but I think it will also make it better.
Then it's best that I am on hand and not seen.
No, I think the complexity is good. I think possibly if it's just us, then she has strong feelings and they might win over logic. Whereas if you are there, she will at least have to... She will know she is outnumbered and the conversation will take longer.
Good.
Good. She might not like you very much.
I am well used to that.
You're so likable.
Ha! Many things. Likeable is not one of them, and I'm fine with that.
Excuse me, you are my favourite person.
Present company accepted.
I'm sorry, we said no secrets. I insisted no secrets, and I should have. It was just a mess. And it hurt to think about, so I chose not to think about it. And in doing so, I hurt you. I would say I'm new to this as an excuse, but I just screwed up. I'm sorry.
I'm not hurt. I understand your reasons. It's more the operational aspect of it, what we're trying to achieve. It would have been useful earlier, but we are here now and we work with what we have.
Mm-hmm. Thanks. Home?
Hortensia's.
It'll do for home. You're there.
A response to that.
Okay. You can make your way back through the lower city and back to the upper city. You're passing through Baldurian night, and it is, you know that the streets aren't necessarily the safest, but you're both relatively powerful. You have no need to worry particularly, so you make your way back without any kind of issue. You get back to Hortensia's. Aspen is asleep, and Hortensia is also asleep. But the doorman lets you in, so you can make your way to your rooms if you want and go to bed, relax. It's perfectly fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's the plan.
Ash.
Yes.
As you and Percy are... Probably you're in bed going to sleep, like as you are lying there getting ready to fall asleep. I've known my sister for a very long time. And I know who she usually hangs out with. I wasn't surprised to see someone like her friend. But you're something different. You're not a scared child looking for answers. You're more than that. What on earth could you possibly see in this? It's all in your mind.
Do I know the voice?
You recognize LaRouche's voice, yes.
Huh. I see walls that need to fall.
You might want to look a little closer to home. The Brotherhood is not a force I've spent much time with recently, but I'm aware of them. And I know the things to look out for. You were of a high enough rank, and it's going to come back to haunt you, you know.
I think everything does in the end. Which is why we make the choices that we make.
And yet, you still keep your secrets.
They're not my secrets.
Might want to take better care to not be observed. I respect you. Where some of the others you travel with I do not. I've asked you politely to stay out of the way. If you choose not to, I respect that too, but if I spoke to my sister, I'd just get abuse, wouldn't I?
Has the polite approach ever worked?
Yes, it has.
Admit it, though, you'd be disappointed if it did here.
I'm disappointed not to have a potential other ally, but I can respect polite conversation. The door is always open for that. I do like speaking to an adult.
Noted. Well, if that's all...
For now?
I'm just going to ignore unless there's any further comment. Yeah.
There isn't after for now.
Yeah.
How visibly were you reacting to that? Because I'm there.
I think I'd have, at the first voice, I would have sat up. Because particularly if I was like half asleep, like unsure if that is just me hearing that or more widely, but I wouldn't have conversed that out loud. I just got a call from our old friend LaRouche. They are, well, I think we've already put a better name to it, to what they are. They're open to talking. They politely encourage us to desist. I have not taken them up on the offer, though sometimes an open door is a useful thing to walk through.
Are you considering taking them up on their offer?
No, only if we need to get close to them. I think from what we've seen of vampires so far, putting ourselves into their domain unguarded is a bad idea. But if we have no other option, it may be a trick we can pull.
That doesn't sound fun. I am sorry. Well, hey, skeleton zombies becoming a vampire seems the next logical step, you know, so...
I'm sure there are many wizards who've done it. It's not the traditional path, but...
I thought it was exactly the traditional path to running the Arcane Brotherhood, right?
Lichdom, really.
They're all the same, right?
Different flavour of undead. More,
Mint chocolate chip.
more horrifying. Yes. Anyway, unless there's going to be any further disturbances...
See you in the morning for day 2 of the nightmare.
Oh, yes.
Sweet dreams.
Aldrin, you returning to the ladies' hall.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Are you going to the hall or are you going to your rooms?
I think that because I need to speak to various members of my my faction, probably I have to go to the hall. It may be necessary to pop into the rooms at some point but then it's not unusual or unheard of for Lord Highmore to be out gallivanting.
Oh yeah.
So it shouldn't be remarked upon not to return to the rooms.
You've not got a problem with that facade, and you know that the message got through to Calistar to disguise self as Lord Highmore and then make his exit. So, like, you have options at that point. So if you head back to the ladies' hall, you have a way to get into the downstairs area below the temple. You have access to it, so you can very easily step in. You won't be accosted or bothered by anybody. There's the hall itself is quite large and quite wide, but you have a sort of back door you can step through that takes you directly downstairs into your space underneath the clubhouse of the ladies' favoured as well.
The hallowed turf.
It is indeed hallowed turf. That is true because it is a temple. It is hallowed ground. As you step down inside, a couple of your people are there, just hanging out. Like there's not very many of them. Calistar is there and gets up as you walk in, but otherwise, yeah, that's basically what you have at the moment. Calistar is there. A couple of the others, you can step inside.
You get away okay?
Oh, hey, yeah, no problem at all. After you left, not a lot happened.
Right. Quite a lot happened before I left. as in left the general building itself. We have a problem.
All right.
It looks as though Church of Mask is working hand in hand with vampires and a group known as the Pitch. You ever heard of them?
All right, vampires is in the, we were talking about seeing 102 at parties and stuff, and we thought there might be like a couple. Are you saying there's more than a couple?
I would say that there are decidedly more of a couple. I don't know what the collective noun for vampires is, but I would say that we have a mass of them.
Right, okay, like we talking a full family?
We're talking full family. I saw some Sporn. Likely they got some thralls. It's a general trifecta of fuck-uppery.
Okay, well that's bad. One, that is just a bad thing. And you're saying this Pitch organization, like, they're a fairy tale?
Well, if they're a fairy tale, I just spent half of today talking to a fictional character, and let me tell you, they seemed real flesh and blood.
Are you saying that... I mean, there's the Zentarum, there's all sorts of other people. You telling me there's another group, a shadowy organization that likes to frequent the Sword Coast? How many shadowy organizations can one place have?
I'm saying you take the Zentarum and the Iron Throne, you boil them together, you distill them, and then that liquor you're left with is probably on a par with the Pitch. We need to think about everything that we've heard that we might have dismissed as rumor and assume that it might be true. Now, first thing we need to do is make sure that security is tight.
Okay, my proposal would be, if you're okay with it, is I'll talk to Yerston about getting the group together and doing a quick recon around, just get a sense of what the word on the street is, and see if there's any questions about, they're already looking for all the Mascarans and they've already got a bunch more leads. Like Alistair wasn't the only one, but we can try and find more, and maybe she can start asking about the Pitch too, if that's what you want.
That would be my suggestion, but make sure everyone is doubly careful. These vampire types, they can sense emotions, they can sense heartbeats. Our usual methods of infiltration may not be as effective, and I do not want to lose anyone to this. Last thing I want to be doing is fighting our allies with fangs and shit.
I mean, it is worth considering. Just saying.
Sorry,
what are you
so
saying?
Tactical and American. It feels like we've gone into the Brotherhood of Steel bit.
I'm gonna get my power armor.
Let's make sure we reanimate that massive statue that throws nukes. That makes sense, right?
You did that one already.
Okay, so we do some more recon, try and find out more about these vampires and about this Pitch, and that it's real. I'll see what I can do. But hey, as a point of order, I do want to throw in that for what we do, in the shadows, couldn't resist it. It certainly wouldn't hurt to have some, tempting, isn't it?
Kalistar, you and me ended up in the situation we ended up in because we were convinced by some people that the pursuit of power was necessary to the greater good. Now,
Yeah, you're right.
I ain't saying that there's not a greater good and we should keep all things in mind, but we need to keep our eyes on the prize right here. I do not think that Tymora would look favorably upon us willfully becoming undead. Now, I can ask, but I have a feeling that I know what the answer is going to be.
Yeah, I see your point.
So you put the word out. We're going to stay in touch, okay? I'm going to check in with you. There's a likelihood tomorrow one of my new interesting companions, the quite imposing cat, werecat sort of tricks. You saw them at the party. And
that person's a werecat? Looked like an elf to me.
Well, appearances, my friend, as you and I should well know, can be deceptive. And,
a werecat? I ain't never heard of a werecat.
Well, we ain't heard of the pitch neither, but
Last
what you learn, you know. What you learn, you know. Trix seems to be quite good at the whole vampire hunting thing. Now, tomorrow's going to be dangerous. First of all, gonna go talk to Aradane, and that's a whole different kind of dangerous, if you know what I mean.
How's Aradane involved?
If someone knows something, they will know it, or they will know who might know it.
Yeah, I understand getting the guild involved, and that makes sense to me, but why'd you... Okay.
This is bigger than us. This may even trump our primary purpose at this point. We do Taimora's work, and sometimes reluctantly, but I'm going to be going into a whole nest of shit. And if I don't make it out, I want you to know that you're in charge, okay?
I mean, yeah, duh.
Well, all right then.
Okay, you let me know about anything you need doing, and I'll organize it from this end. I mean, if it's vampires, don't forget, coming back here might not be a bad idea. They can't go anywhere; they're not invited, and this place is holy.
We're gonna be all right. You see buttons. You ask if we can slightly enhance the Halloween to stop followers of Mask. I appreciate that.
You want me to talk to Sister Buttons about increasing the Halloween of the Church of Taimora that they don't like us being in the first place to involve keeping undead out? You know how that conversation's going to go?
Now,
why don't you go have that conversation if you won't have it? Because I'm sure they'll talk to you this late at night.
Sister Buttons may not like you, but they detest me. But sure, I'll roll the dice, see what can be done. Now you make sure we have plenty of holy water. You make sure everything's blessed, and you make sure that everyone knows that we are in lockdown. Okay?
Yeah, too right. We're in lockdown. Yeah, right.
All right. I'll see you later. Good job today.
You too. Big old brotherly handshake. That clasping military handshake thing, because that's the vibe here, definitely.
Brotherhood of coins.
Got bro jockey. Yes, you managed to. Yes, you know that Kalistar, the space below, it's only a small room. Like, it's not. Yeah. It's big enough for like 10, 15 people to meet, which is all the number that you currently have if everyone is present, and it is well stocked with. Holy water, and there are ways back up to the temple, which is also in itself quite well stocked with everything that it would need to run as a temple of Taimora. So you do have access there to things you might need, definitely. Cool. Either you head back to your rooms.
Yeah, I think if I want buttons on the side, the time to speak to them is not in the middle of the night. That's not going to go.
If you want to go talk to Sister Buttons, you talk to Sister Buttons.
It's a trap. It's a trap.
I think Aldrin would know, being wise, that probably the best time to talk to Sister Buttons is when Sister Buttons has had their coffee.
Fair. You're welcome to return to speak to Sister Buttons anytime you wish. That is fine. Yeah,
Aldrin is going to go to bed and just lie awake for a little bit, trying to make sense of the day and trying to decide to what extent the new companions can be trusted, because they seem good, but very powerful, and Aldrin is aware that if shit goes sideways, he's very exposed, and Aldrin does not like to expose himself.
Because you are who you are, roll me an insight check after the fact on the people you've just met.
Alrighty. That is a 28.
They can clearly all be trusted. They clearly all have very good intentions and something specific they want to do that, if it aligns, should all come to quite good fruition. What you do note so far is they're seeming to trust each other quite readily, but they're struggling to trust you. And you're not quite sure why yet, but that is worth pondering.
I wonder why.
Could it be your personality?
Aldrin is quite paranoid. It's true. That'll be the musing that I do then as I sort of prepare my spells for the morrow, and those are the thoughts that I have as I slip off into a solipsistic state.
In the morning. Yes.
Can I presume that I get up before Silver, but I...
Oh, yeah, definitely. Sorry, I mean, that's an assumption, Evie, but tell me if I'm wrong.
Oh, no, yeah. As much sleep as possible.
I would like to just be prepared for when Silver wakes up in disguise as Le Douche. I have very serious intentions with this. This is not a funny moment.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. It's 1 p.m.
You're meeting Aldrin in an hour, and you have other things to do.
I don't think we had anything else to do.
Do the two of you not have anything else to do? Oh, fine. Then in which case, yeah, you sleep until 1. That's fine. Go on.
Yeah. Jesus fucking Christ.
Not a person in this universe,
No.
for sure.
I said a name of someone that doesn't exist.
Now, what I want to know is, if it came down to it, could you really kill them?
T, you look ridiculous. First and foremost, their hair is clearly not fabulous enough. But the answer is probably, almost certainly, maybe yes.
It's a lot harder than you think it is.
Killing someone.
Killing someone from your family, killing someone that you know, killing someone that you loved.
LaRouche is... They don't know the meaning of proper family. Like, I honestly don't think that they have any kind of sentimentality outside of themselves. And it's taken me a while to realize how messed up they really are. And I'm not saying it will be easy, but I'm saying that if they wouldn't even think twice about killing me. So I'm gonna do what I can to give them the same treatment. Now, can you please turn back to your lovely self?
Would you just stab me once first, just so you've done it, and then if it happens in real life, at least you'll have practiced.
Okay, fine, but this is the last time.
Look, if someone had done this for me, it would have been a lot easier. It might not have been easier, but I think it might have been.
I really appreciate that. I'm sorry. And I hope this is cathartic for you in some way as well. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, do you have any preference for area?
No, I'm good.
Okay, let's do this. And I'm
gonna get into like a aggressive position.
LaRouche gets into an aggressive... It looks weird.
I go for it, I stumble, I go, okay. I got this. And you get a stabby stab in the shoulder area, like there.
Make me an attack roll.
Sure. That is 16 plus 6, so whatever that is, 22.
My AC is 15, so...
Yep. You stab LaRouche in the shoulder.
Hooray.
I mean, also you stabbed LaRouche's shoulder, and LaRouche is presumably shorter than I am, so...
Oh.
It's like
They're
my
quite
ribs.
willowy. I mean, they're not tall. Yeah, they're shorter than you.
So it's just like nipple height.
Ow.
Oh, it was plus 10, so that was actually 26 to hit. But I will roll that damage for you.
There's no sneak attack, obviously.
No sneak attack, yeah.
You're not hidden.
Yeah,
That was 11 stabbing damage.
Cool, Trix. You'll heal that back in about 15 seconds.
Can I... T, do you mind if there's just a bit of loose blood there? It's breakfast time.
Yeah, it's all good.
Yikes.
Oh, thanks.
I feel.
What is
You're a
wrong
good
with
friend.
you two?
I feel
You're a
less.
good friend.
I feel less concerned now that Silver will actually stab LaRouche if necessary.
Gave Silver some breakfast. Hooray.
I
Good.
turn back into myself.
That's a symbiotic relationship if ever I saw one.
Yeah.
Oh, so many content warnings. Good, right, so... that happens, and Aldrin will arrive in an hour, so yay. What else was happening during the day? Aldrin, you want to go and talk to Sister Buttons? Please do
Have we long rested now? So
Yes, you've long rested, sorry. Please take long rest
all of
button.
my spell slots.
Yes, you get all your spell slots back. Take your long rest
spell,
buttons, that's perfectly fine.
Preparations.
Oh, we were gonna dream, but we've got an hour, so we can do that as well. Yeah.
You can do it now. Like, as part, after the stabbing and after breakfast, hey, let's also screw with LaRouche's dreams. We're going to come back to that, though. Good grief. Cool, right. Aldrin's going to talk to Sister Buttons. Aldrin, do you have anything else you were doing by yourself before meeting up to go and talk to Aradine?
At the daily casting of Commune as a ritual.
Yeah, that's
to
fine.
see what kind of answers I can glean
That's
from
fine.
the day ahead.
We'll do that, and then Ashra and Percy, we're going to go and talk. We'll try and find Isla before meeting everyone in the evening. There's nothing else specific anyone wanted to do, was there? Nothing else that needed going through? I think so. Cool, good. And we should just do the morning commune.
So, having built my little circle of coins and dice and so forth,
That's the idea that you're just there inside little dice towers.
Nice goblin.
I don't make the ritual. Blame Timora. Love to gamble. So the first question, sensing Timora's presence in my mind.
Once again, there is a popping into existence. This time of a Timora appears as an orc. Just pops in. Orc with a ponytail, just sitting on the desk in exactly the same pose as the last time.
Well, it's my lucky day. Good to see you, Timora.
Yes. What can I help you with today, Aldrin?
Well, first question is it my fault that people don't trust me?
Yes.
Right. Kind of wish you could expand on that, but I appreciate you can't.
I can a little, Aldrin. I'm bound, but not entirely. You're used to being a priest of mask, and sometimes it's a mask that's hard to drop.
Yep. Well, true, I'll think on that. Second question, is this enemy we face a graver threat than the Church of Mass? Should this be our priority rather than the Circle of the Grey Ribbon?
That is a difficult question to answer with a simple yes or no, but I'll attempt it. There is an immediate threat here. You are correct that it is very important.
All right.
However, there are greater forces at work.
Didn't say yes or no.
That's what I said. I
Yeah,
said.
no.
So I can't say yes or no.
Can't answer it with a yes or no, but I'll attempt it. Here is a long sentence which uses neither of those words.
This part doesn't count as my minute.
Is this a filibuster? Is this a fucking filibuster?
And Torgros. Final question, which I had a moment ago, but has gone out of my head with that last exchange.
Sorry.
It's all right.
It's all right.
The minute lasts as long as you can remember your questions. It's fine. I'll just have a walk around your room. This is a nice curtain.
Right. Have the enemy been scrying or observing any of my companions?
Yes.
Oh no.
Shit.
Should probably be more careful. Pops out.
Well. Today is a good day to fry. And I'm gonna go make myself some eggs.
Slide that one in. Yep, fine. Good. Right. Right, so Aldrin has communed. Ashra, Percy, you were going to go and talk to Ayla. Now, Percy. Ayla likes to frequent a park called Insight Park, which is on the eastern... Well, it's on the western side of Baldur's Gate, eastern side of the beginnings of Dusthawk Hill. It's quite a steep park, but it is on the very edge of the lower city before the wall and before Tumbledown. So it's quite close to, places.
Scarily close. Parks are good. Parks are public.
Mm-hmm.
Shall we go?
I think, yes. Any particular thing we should be prepared for? I know that's a very open-ended question. It's going to be fun.
Pain, more pain, a lot of sarcasm.
Good. Well,
it's up to you, obviously, but I don't necessarily think it. If you want to hide, you can. But then, if you have to reveal yourself, I think we lose any.
I think your
trust.
original suggestion was the best. We both go in together.
Okay.
Which is more likely to wrong foot her.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You can do this.
Mm-hmm.
You can do this.
What could go wrong? It's going to be totally fine.
Oh, yes. Well, I mean, don't dwell too much on that, but you can do this. Things are always going wrong. We've always got through it.
Mm-hmm. I haven't told you this yet, so I'm going to do it now because it feels important. I love you.
Love you too.
You don't have to say that just because I said it. It's okay. Just yeah. She might say stuff. She might. I'd never loved her. She was an ally. I love you.
Wow.
I have more questions, but I feel that now is not the best time to delve into that.
Oh no!
I mean, we have a walk.
Oh dear.
Yeah, no, but it's emotionally. Not the best time to delve into that.
Okay. You make your way to the park. In silence.
Yeah, probably actually.
In the park, there is to call it a cafe would be very modern, but there is a small water feature in the park, which is two lakes connected by a small waterfall. And there is a small sort of outdoor hut where people do serve hot drinks, and there are nice chairs to sit.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fantasy cafe. Yeah, exactly. So, yes, you make your way to Insight Park, and Percy, you're fully aware that during the days, because not much of your work happened in the days, I'd like nothing more than to sit in this cafe, in this seating area with hot beverages, and to a certain extent watch the world go by. Also likes to read, often has a book on the go and will be sat reading in the park. Also, a lot of Isla's contacts meet Isla in the park at this location because it looks benign.
Yeah.
She tended to dress up to go to the park, so it was like a bit of, oh, I'm just a noblewoman out on a walk, and it wasn't anything to draw much focus or attention. But yes.
Something I definitely would have asked for before now is a description. For a description, yeah.
Isla is tiefling.
I mean, assuming Persephone would.
Yes, yeah. But Chris built her, so go for it.
Yeah.
Persephone tells you.
Isla is a tiefling. Isla has... it's not purple, it is pink, but it's a very deep pink, that sort of magenta skin. Quite complex horns. It's two different curls, one over the top and one around the back, that sort of curl together up and around. She is, generally speaking, quite poised and steers into the I'm playing a noblewoman look, but is also like lithe and very much like a stick. Like not any no fat on her. Not as chonk as Percy is, but whip it sharp.
Okay. Yeah, I'd assume I'd have some idea of what to look out for the for the shadow monks anyway, but yeah, it's useful.
And of a similar age, but about 2 years older than Percy, maybe.
Okay.
So Percy's what, late 20s?
Early mid.
Early mid-20s, so we're talking late 20s for Isla. For Isla.
As soon as we get near the part, my eyes are on swivels, just like just a full awareness.
Cool. Both roll me perception checks, or one roll with advantage.
I'm so concerned for
Wanna roll
your
each?
safety.
Sure.
I mean, I'm happy either way. But
I really love that
got a 3.
LaRouche told Ashura that they'd been watching them and told Ashura that they had overheard conversations that they'd had. I mean...
I didn't pick up on that, clearly.
Reference to secrets.
I got a nat 20.
We met in person, I guess. I also got a nat 20.
We see everything.
You see, LaRouche is not there. No, they can't be out in the sunshine. Yes, you step out into the park, and as you're walking through it, Percy, the weird thing is that it is an absolute trip down memory lane. You look over towards the water feature, and you look towards the seating arrangement that sort of curls up this path from the upper to the lower seating areas, where all these people are sat around. There's a good smattering of people. Baldur's Gate is not renowned for its lovely outdoor seating weather, but it's not too cold to sit outside, and most people are there in like a largish coat. And Isla hasn't changed at all. Exactly the same sort of outfit, exactly the same sort of poise, sat in a chair reading a book. It looks like the world is just passing her by. And if anything, the weirdest thing about this is you would have just gone up and sat down next to her and it would have been perfectly normal and fine. But now it isn't. The water feature makes sort of a slow trickling, lapping noise as it goes through. And Baldurian parks are not like lush with vegetation. There are a couple of nice trees hanging over, not a lot of flower, it's all very sort of dark and greens and browns, and the smell of the grass is quite strong here as well. It's a very sort of bucolic, pleasant environment that belies the stress you're probably feeling.
Is there enough empty space around her that it's not like everything we say will be overheard by the people on the next table?
Much like when you knew her in the past, the tables around her tend to be uninhabited, and you don't quite know how she does it. Because she looks very approachable.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to play this?
That would imply any sense of control or planning over the situation. I think I'm going to try not to throw up, and we'll go from there.
All right. If we need to remove ourselves rapidly,
I will hold her off. You get out.
I can get us both out quickly.
That sounds ideal.
But we need to say some kind of code phrase, something that you can say to tip me off if it's not actually get to the point of throwing fists.
Run.
Fine. Run.
Subtle.
Very subtle. Yeah.
I mean, if we're then about to leg it for the hills, then subtlety sort of goes out the window.
Well,
we could also say something more subtle, if you'd like.
Say
milk.
What's a good phrase? What's something you would never say? Do you remember milk? Maybe that's one.
Sure, that.
Bring up milk in some context, and I will take that as a signal to get us out as quickly as possible.
Milk for character or milk for your
milk
teas
for
and coffees?
Yes.
Would you like some milk? Oh
yes.
God! Everyone runs.
And you promised me.
I remember.
Okay.
But this isn't intended to be a fight, and we gain little by fighting.
That's been, but still, it's good to remind you. Okay. I will squeeze your hand and then purposefully walk a couple of meters ahead of you.
Game faces on.
I'm not stealthing exactly, but I ideally don't want her to notice me hundreds of feet away and start running.
Sure, roll me a stealth check. It's not to be hiding in the shadows, it's to be unobtrusive.
Yeah. 21.
Mm-hmm. Okay, you move towards her table. There's a nice sort of wooden bridge over the water feature where the waterfall comes down that you can step over and then just literally step into her table and step up to her and talk to her if you want to. She appears to just be engrossed in her book, not noticed you at all.
I thought you'd know that one by heart by now.
Percy. What on earth are you doing here?
Something very stupid, but hey, it wouldn't be me if it wasn't.
For God's sake, hide your appearance. Are you mad?
You know, I wasn't ever very good at that one.
Assuming I was only a few meters behind, I'll come and join them both at the table.
Can we
Sit
sit?
next to Percy? Or I'll stand next to Percy.
Who's this?
Ashra. Ms. Beckett, this is my friend. Ashra. Ash, this is Isla.
Give her an appraising nod.
She will get up and reach out a hand.
Can I insight check her
Of course.
like body language and just get a sense of? I mean, I know that like assuming Order of Shadow Monks doesn't necessarily need to like telegraph anything, but just trying to gauge something, anything. That is a 9.
Stunning. No. no.
Ja.
She
Oh,
reaches
that was a
out.
thing that could happen.
She just stands. She stands up, reaches out her hand, and she is very poised, but clearly shaken. That's all I can give you with a 9. But she does reach out a hand to you.
I'll return the handshake.
Good. Keeping up appearances is important. She sits back down and tries to look casual. Very successfully, looks incredibly casual. Like this is a perfect normal conversation between, 3 people who all definitely should be here, and it's all fine.
We wouldn't have come. I know we shouldn't have come, but we need answers. And you are the
Answers
Safe.
I can give you?
answers. Hopefully someone in the pitch can, and you are the safest person in the pitch.
I don't know what you want, and I don't know if I can help you.
Physically or out of choice?
Out of choice, Percy. You made your choices, and I didn't do anything about it, and I'm still not going to, even though I should. Friendship means something to me. So. What is it that you... What have you got yourself tangled up in? What do you need to know?
What was happening in the sewers last night?
How do you know about that?
I made powerful friends.
Eyes flick to Ash and back again.
I'm just trying to look. I'm trying to say as little as possible and just like project that, like, yes, haughty kind of thing.
Percy, if you were looking to run away, this is the worst possible thing you could have done.
I ran away very successfully. I ran to the end of the world. And
you
then I
should have
realised-
stayed there.
Because then you would all carry on doing what you're doing.
Yes.
You talk about choices. We had no choices.
I made my choice.
You told me you arrived when you were 2. You're telling me you had choices.
I made my choice, Percy. Whether it was when I arrived or when I found out about what the pitch actually was and decided it was worthy of my time.
I don't want to fight with you about ethics. That is not a valuable use of our time.
I don't know what else I can give you.
I want to know for how long the pitch have made alliances with vampires and the Church of Mask, what they were doing last night, and what's Gloom.
You're very well informed. Percy, if I tell you what I know, you'll use it to hurt me and the people I care about.
I won't.
I don't understand how you can't.
I will use it to stop pain and to stop needless death. I will not use it to target
The death
you.
isn't needless, Percy.
What's it for?
You never spent enough time with the pitch to find out why. You just saw the method and you ran.
Don't you think that's enough? If seeing what they do triggers that response, then no motive makes it better.
There's purpose to it.
The ends do not justify the means.
To you.
To a lot of people. To a lot of very powerful people who are taking you down, whether you like it or not. This is your chance to not be dead at the end of it. Let's face it, you're already in serious trouble. This will be the second time you've let me go. You're already on your way out.
Even if you believe so wholeheartedly in the pitch, can you really say the same for House Meledata or the Church of Mask?
This is your chance to be taken in by the winning side instead of murdered with the losing. I came to you asking for help as a friend, but if that's not working, then this is it. You have sold out the pitch twice now. I can make sure they know about it. I don't want to. I care about you. But you do not have anywhere to run to except us.
I didn't say anything last time. And I do sometimes regret it. I let things blind me.
What things?
Do you really need to ask?
Oh.
Friendship, loyalty, these things matter. I was raised in a way that they mattered, and you rejected it. I understand why. Don't get me wrong, I understand. And I was very happy for you to not be part of my life anymore, but your friend is right. I do believe in what we are doing. I do believe in the greater good of it. I agree it makes for some very strange bedfellows, and I'm not alone in the organization in thinking that some of this is maybe a bridge too far.
Then tell us that bit. Tell us what sits wrongly with you.
The Meledata think they can conquer death. Entirely. Stop people from dying. For good.
And the ritual last night is part of that?
Yes.
How?
Let people.
All people. Well, with some exceptions to getting to that point.
Have they not seen that episode of Torchwood?
Surely that would put you out of the job.
I am not adverse to that. The reason I am in this job is because of it. There are things that need feeding, things that give us power, and in return we feed them. That is no question that there is some dubious ethics around it. I understand that. But if we don't feed them, they will come for others. There is more to this than just a simple, these people are bad and must be stopped, Percy.
And tell us what. LaRouche reached out to Ms. Beckett last night. LaRouche knows the power that she has, the ally she could be. Convince us, we'll come back.
Imagine a world where your loved ones didn't pass on. A world where you could live forever, like the elves of old did. This is not a magical concept, it's real. It existed in people's lifetimes that we know.
How does the gloom help with that?
Sacrifice of one feeds the many. Sacrifice of Baldur's Gate feeds the rest of the world.
You're an assassin. It's really odd for you to have the sanctity of life as your ultimate motive.
Sanctity of life's my ultimate motive, Percy. The want for a better future. The future I was denied.
Run. We managed. Join on our side. It's really fun. We made a friend yesterday who can literally punch vampires to dust. And another one who can sort of rotate 360 degrees and climb on the ceiling. And another one who is weirdly charismatic and creepy and can do amazing radiant things. Like, we could use another ally. You wanted a bed. Either you are just one of them, you are just an assassin, or you want a better life and I'm offering it to you. Come join us.
Roll a persuasion check.
Percy and her charisma. Okay, that's a dirty 20. I mean, it's not going to work, but still.
It's a dirty 20. If there was another way of doing it, if there was another way to harness these powers and do it without what the vampires want and the Mascarans want, then I don't want to give up on this, Percy. There is more to this. If we could find a way to harness it without the vampires want and without what the Mascarans want, then...
Harness what?
The gloom.
What is the gloom? This is a...
The sacrifice of Baldur's Gate. To the plane of negative energy. The death of all of the people in this place. This place becoming a haven for the vampires and their necropolis.
So when you describe a world with no death, what you in fact mean is a world with no death for a chosen few.
For a vast majority. I do not like making a necropolis of this city. Grew up here. It means something to me, but maybe there's another way of doing it. Maybe there's another way of harnessing these energies. There must be something.
Well, the pitch aren't going to help you find it. You stay with them. You are part of this. You are complicit. If they don't find out that you've let me go twice and just kill you, the only way to look for another way is to leave them.
I can't just pack my bags and walk out the door.
Why not? I did.
And you were hunted to the ends of the earth, and you
They
need
haven't caught me
here.
yet.
Not even in their own stronghold.
They don't know you're here yet, but if they don't already, they will now. And if you're not protecting yourselves in some way against all of this, you're going to be in serious trouble very soon.
Are you going to tell them?
No.
Why?
Because you're right. And I know you're right. But I don't want to give up on this. There's got to be a middle ground, and I'm going to try and find it.
You won't.
Round.
You won't find it on their side. They don't want the middle ground. They have made their alliances.
If I am still there and I can glean information, maybe then, if your friend is as powerful as you say she is, we can look at the spells, we can look at the incantations, the rituals, and try and find another way to do this.
That's not how this is going. This is not you walk away and we make some weird across the borders, across the barricades alliance. This is your one and only chance. Otherwise you are an enemy. You have picked your side. And I will make no effort to help you again.
I will not talk about our conversation today. I will not tell them that you are here, even though I think they probably already are starting to put two and two together, but I can't see this in absolutes, Percy.
Then you're dead. If they know that I'm here, if they're watching, they've seen this, they'll work it out. They're not stupid. They will already know that you stopped me the first time round and then you didn't. If
And
you
I've
go
already
back
been
there,
punished for that.
what happened?
Do you really care?
Yes, you know I do.
It's the past now.
I need to know.
Well, I was punished, Percy. What do you think happened?
Do you know what the plan is if they find us again?
I haven't even heard that you're in town yet.
But you must know. I need to... If they catch up with us, is Artie better off dead?
The powers you have stolen, they take that very, very seriously. They are annoyed about Artemis. You're worse than that.
So it won't be a quick one. Good to know.
I'm sorry, Percy.
I think this has been painful enough for the both of us. I appreciate the efforts you've made. I am sorry about your punishment, and I regret your spinelessness. I hope I don't have to kill you myself.
I have nothing to add to that, Percy.
If you change your mind, I'm sure you'll manage to find us.
If I change my mind, you'll know.
Okay. I am sorry it had to work out like this. And Percy just walks away.
Asher follows.
Once we get round a corner out of sight, Percy will just sit under a tree on a bench somewhere, and Ash, I think this is the first time you've ever seen her. She will just sob. It's not adult weeping. She will sob like a child.
Okay, it's okay. I don't know how to deal with this.
So in character, thank you, George.
I feel I should have something smart to say, but it probably just hurts. She's wrong, of course, about all of it, but you know that.
After a while, when Percy had calmed down enough to have a conversation, she got hurt because of me.
She made her choice. This is what we were talking about before. She had a choice. And she made it. Don't diminish that.
Ash, I love you. And I know you're trying to help. Can you not try and fix this? Can you just hold me? And you don't need to find the right thing to say. There isn't the right thing to say. Can you just be with me?
I can do that. And I do.
Everyone okay?
Yeah.
Even people not in the scene. You're all okay. Thank you.
Are you okay?
Yeah, thank you. Fine. Ooh. Right. Trix, Silver, you were going to dream on the road.
Yes.
Tonal
The
shift.
tone. Yeah.
Right. The only thing I want to know is, do you want them to not be able to sleep very well? And do you want this to hurt?
I think if I make it hurt, they'll know that I've actually, fully invaded. I want them to question it. If I can make it just so that they're having a really weird dream.
I mean, they'll remember it perfectly, so... Okay. I don't suppose you've got any hair, nails, or any of their body parts on you.
Let me look in my bag. One moment.
No, you don't!
It was a reasonable question.
They could have stolen my hairbrush.
It's a reasonable...
Tonal shift.
Yeah.
It's a reasonable question, but oh my god, no! Yes, I took their toenail clippings from her.
Actually, it's irrelevant because they're not making a saving throw.
Yeah, no. You're just doing the dream haunting.
Right, alright, well, you can change anything about the dream, really, and,
Can I change how they look?
If you can change anything about the dream, you can change how they look.
you can change anything about the dream.
Okay. Let's do this.
Alright. I just tap Silver on the shoulder and off we go.
Silver, your sibling is asleep. Well, the vampire equivalent of asleep. It counts as sleep for the purposes of dream. I'm not going to be difficult about that. Yeah.
Do I see anything when I arrive?
You are in a uniformly black, inky landscape. Your sibling is sat just in the middle of nothingness, is just sat down very quietly. They're sat cross-legged on, it's a small, they're not dreaming of anything in particular. If anything, they are very much trance-like and relaxed, and they're not having any particular, dream flights of fancy. They're just sat quietly. You can see them sat in this inky black landscape, and you can do whatever you want.
I would like to make my appearance to look like Tharabel,
Sure,
very scantily clad,
sure.
and coyly call La Rouge and start doing a sexy fan dance. It's going somewhere.
They will open their eyes and look at you and raise an eyebrow.
Oh god. What happened to you? You're hideous. What's wrong with your hair? And their hair starts falling out in clumps. Oh god, and your skin, he starts to get wrinkles. Deep wrinkles.
They start to get deep wrinkles.
Sorry.
Quite all right. They do look disturbed. They're just confused and disturbed and relatively unhappy with the situation, but they're not verbalizing it. Just sort of not quite sure what to make of all of this.
Oh god, the hideousness. It's doing something to me, and I kind of turn inside out, and then the scene changes.
Yep.
And suddenly, it's a 50s Tharabel is not Tharabel, LaRouche is a house spouse in a 50s sitcom.
That is my worst nightmare. Nice to know.
Okay, so you continue to WandaVision them, right? Go on,
Yeah.
what's next?
And I just try and play out the domestic, honey, I'm home.
As Tharaval again.
Inside
Yes.
out?
Not inside out anymore. Did you get the dinner ready?
You're playing a game with me. Whoever you are.
Oh, you silly person. You know we've got those house guests tonight.
Do we indeed?
Yes, we do, and you said you were going to cook a goose.
A goose, did I?
Yes, you did.
They are sort of walking towards you in a kind of threatening way.
I putter around in a kind of, oh, silly me kind of way.
Now, I know a few people who've got the capability to do this. The question is, which one are you? This is too childish for that new wizard friend.
I turn into... Suddenly the scene changes. I turn into LaRouche. It's like, who am I indeed? Or am I just the part of yourself that you don't want to admit is here, living inside you?
I mean, I'm rolling wisdom saving throws on all of these. Very droll.
You know you want the suburban fantasy, really.
Silver, if this is you, you couldn't have sunk any lower in my estimation. Until
Silver? No. Oh, you're so deep in denial. It's quite cute, really, isn't it?
Well, I know the spell, there's nothing I can do about it. But you're clearly not here to hurt me, so it'll just be annoying for a bit. Please, annoy me. I don't mind being annoyed.
Well, no one can annoy someone like yourself. And then just blah, 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 blah for a while. And then after about 5 minutes, I'll go.
Chris, I'd like to thank you from the bottom of my heart for doing those scenes this way round.
That is the definition of luck of the draw, I think. Well, on that note...
I have never been so happy that I took a spell more in my life.
I mean, that's where we have to end for today. That's the note. That's the end note. It's LaRouche shouting blah, 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 blah at themselves for 5 minutes and then noping out.
So how did it go?
That sure was a bad dream.
Well, thank you for joining us, everyone. Marvellous stuff. Yeah. We are all together. We tell stories. You can join us on Monday nights for more Gloom Falls on Baldur's Gate, where next time they'll be delving into more vampiric, dark dealings and disturbances. And tomorrow, on Tuesdays, we have Andor, which plays from 7 p.m. GMT. It's 11, and that's 11 a.m. PT. And that's with us for 1 more week. So there's tomorrow and the week after, and then there'll be a new show after that. More on that coming up very, very shortly. All of our shows are streamed at twitch.tv/rolltogetherrpg. You can watch them on our YouTube at youtube.com/rolltogetherrpg, or you can find them on podcast. Just search for the podcast version on any podcast provider that you have at rolltogetherrpg on, just search for it because podcasts. Massive thank you to our D20 Club on Patreon, who patronise us and support us, and do join them if you can. There'll be a link in chat. Massive thank you to our sponsors. It's Hero Forge, Ultra Pro, and Elderwood Academy, and our supporters, D&D Beyond, Elder Champions of Forgotten Realms, Warriors of Waterdeep, and Level Up Dice. There's probably a couple of things you can do in chat very quickly if you want to try and get an Ultra Pro prize or make an Elderwood box for David today. So, yes, check all of that out and join us there. And join us on social media. We are Roll Together RPG on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Right, that's it from us. Thank you, everyone. Lovely session. See you all soon. Bye.